Oh, hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this very special evening broadcast of the Rebel News live stream. I am your host, Sheila Gunn Reid. I'm joined by the lovely Lise Merle from beautiful Regina, Saskatchewan for the second time today. She's my co-host on the daily Tuesday live stream. Lise, how's it going since I saw you last?
Well, it's the day has gone so fast, Sheila Gunn Reid, and what a delight to have you
Oh,
live
thank
2
you.
times in the same day. Like, lucky me. And tonight, how juicy, the debate with, roughly what would this be? So there's 200 candidates and 10 of them are there. There's like a 5% of the,
Yes.
5% of the candidate list. How nice it is that we'll be able to hear from those candidates and, distill some of the information coming out of Pierre Poilievre's not presumed, but Pierre Poilievre's by-election in
Yes.
Alberta.
Yes. So we are tonight covering one of two debates, candidates forums in the Battle River Crowfoot by-election. That by-election was triggered when Damien Carrick, the beloved Conservative MP there, stepped aside so that the leader of the Conservatives, Pierre Poilievre, could run in a very safe, deep blue riding of Battle River Crowfoot after he lost his longtime riding of Ottawa Carleton to Bruce Fanjoy. And after what I would absolutely dub election meddling from the likes of the Longest Ballot campaign. And before we get into that, before I get too far into the election meddling that enraged me so greatly this morning on the live stream that I have maybe let a swear slip out on live TV.
It was epic and so worth it.
I
So worth it,
immediately
Sheila Gunn
realized what
Reid.
I had done, and my goodness, usually it's not me, usually it's David. But I'll tell everybody what we're doing here. The forum goes live at 7 Mountain, so that's in about 12 minutes. It's in Camrose, Alberta, the largest municipality in Battle River Crowfoot. And Battle River Crowfoot is an enormous riding. It's basically from the east of Edmonton, Strathcona County, kind of Beaver County, down all the way past Stettler. And then to the Saskatchewan border. It is an enormous chunk of land, larger than many European countries. Like, you could put a few European countries into that tract of land. Camrose is a retirement community for farmers these days.
It is very Tony, very nice, very polite. Yes, good
Yes,
people from
Big Valley
Canmore.
Jamboree is there this weekend, so there's a lot of frisky young people there this weekend too. But if you are watching us on Rumble, thank you for watching us there. If you want to have your say, if there's something that happens in the forum that you think you want to react to, put it in the form of a paid chat. On Rumble, it's called a Rumble Rant. If you're watching us on YouTube, it's called the Super Chat. If it's over the $5 US cutoff, it's obligatory. We will read it on air. Otherwise, we'll do our very, and I promise you, very best to make time to get to all the chats. Sometimes, just time permitting, we can't get to them. But we're going to watch the debate together. We want your feedback. We welcome your feedback. This is more of a watch party than it is anything, because we can't
It's a debate
react.
watch party. It's a debate watch party. That's what we're doing. So welcome, Canada, to the funnest place to watch debate coverage in the entire nation. And we're just so happy to be here with you. Yeah, I like that so much, Sheila, a watch party.
Because it's hard to react as it's happening. You sort of want to be quiet and let the candidates talk, but sometimes my face tells exactly what I want to say.
That's what sets us apart from the boiled potatoes at the CBC, who dronelessly ramble on without nary a tiny bit of character. We want to bring you all the character, Canada, and we're going to do it with our faces while listening to a debate. It's also a great place for politicos like us to gather, because we all talk about the same things, hear the same stories, and form, very different opinions about things. So it's always good to watch it with you guys and watch your feedback on the live chats and on the paid chats. Again, like Sheila said, if you really want to say something, okay, the paid chat is where it's at tonight, kids.
Yeah.
And so, don't be shy.
Yes. You're going to see my face scrunch up in horror several times tonight.
Yeah.
Because the NDP candidate, Catherine Swampy, a perennial candidate. Like,
Is that right?
if the NDP were running a dog catcher, she'd run. Like,
okay,
for
so
years.
I read a piece, I can't remember where, but just this week about that being a strategy of the left. Because in politics, so much of politics is name recognition, right?
Yeah.
And so if you get a person running for the school board, for your municipal council, for your library board, for your airport board, for your, any elected or board position over and over and over again, they're positioning that person to win for the left. And so that's interesting that she would be following that same strategy.
She's been at this for 10 years. She has run for the NDP provincially.
Oh, is this her? This is her, eh?
Catherine Swampy. She's from Maskwacis.
Oh, okay.
First Nation.
Okay.
Yeah. Wetaskiwin area.
Tenacious, just wants to be involved, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But maybe politics is not for you. If you have run for the last decade and you just cannot find a path to victory. I love her enthusiasm, but maybe this isn't your thing.
Right. Maybe there's a different job for you.
Yeah. Like, she's been running in politics since I've been doing this job.
What can you say her name again, Sheila Gunn-Reid?
Catherine Swampy.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna find out what Catherine Swampy does when she's not running for public
She's
office.
An academic.
Oh, well, Sheila, say no more. Say no more. She's a lifetime researcher, studier. She is always after the truth. And so then that would allow her a lot of time to go and campaign for the left.
Yeah. So she's been fighting for First Nations rights since she was 11 years old.
Oh, I see.
I've met some 11-year-olds. I don't really necessarily believe this. She's a band counselor for Sansom Cree First Nation for 6 years, and active on numerous boards, but she really, really, really wants to be an elected politician outside of band council. She wants to be a provincial politician. She really wants to be a federal politician, and she is just going to run until she badgers us into saying, okay, fine.
Okay. Catherine Swampy is a fierce advocate for women's rights.
Yeah, that's why she's running for the NDP.
Can't wait. Just wait for it. Women's rights, missing and murdered Indigenous women and Indigenous people, the environment, and to dovetail those women's rights that Catherine Swampy advocates for to SLGBTQ.
There it is.
Rights. Yeah.
There it is.
That's who Catherine Swampy is, right? Just like a perfect, actually, like if we were to paint a portrait of a perfect, vapid leftist in Canada, it will probably look a lot like Catherine Swampy.
Yeah, she's just a diehard NDPer. But we should tell everybody why this election is important beyond the fact that this is the Conservative leader running in a safe seat so that he can be back in the House of Commons to hold Mark Carney to account. This election, now we are going to have, I should tell you, I'm not sure how much we're going to hear from each individual candidate tonight in the forum.
Why? Yeah.
There's 10 of them that are going to be on the stage, including Bonnie Critchley, who is the independent for Battle River. She's a veteran who believes strongly in fair voting practices. I bet she's got a lot to say then about the nonsense that's happening in the riding that we've alluded to, we haven't really described. But she considers herself sort of a nonpartisan, I think, conservative-ish.
Okay.
We'll see. I think you really can't be much else in Battle River Crowfoot.
Right.
But there are 210 candidates running in this riding as of Monday on Elections Canada website. That changed since I last looked this morning when there was 209. So it's gotten so bad that Elections Canada, instead of dealing with this gerrymandering by the likes of the longest ballot committee, which is just people putting up their names, never campaigning as paper candidates to bung up the system and confuse voters, with a 7-foot long ballot. That's what it would have been if they had printed everybody's name on it. And you know what? They should have. But instead, they're moving now to just write somebody's name in. And So,
Unprecedented. Whenever have you seen an election ballot where you just pencil the name of the person you want in there?
and this will result in almost all, well, not almost all. I mean, there are people out there who can spell his name, but even I struggle when I'm typing it sometimes and I'm moving real fast.
Yeah.
Almost all of Poilievre's ballots are going to be subject to scrutineering,
Yes.
because you have, when if the name is spelled wrong, then you have to judge for voter intent, and so you're going
Right.
to have some Poilievres, you're going to have some Poilievres,
Yeah.
you're
Uh-huh.
people. It's a difficult name to say. I love watching Americans struggle to say his name. I love Newsmax.
Poilievre.
If
That's where
if
Poilievre
you
comes from. Yeah.
if you need me, Poilievre, I saw Poilievre, I heard one time. I will write it phonetically for you. I would love to do that for you, but I just love watching Americans. Just their very deep American tongues can't get their heads around the French
That
pronunciation.
no, they cannot.
Neither can some rural folks from Battle River Crowfoot, and that's okay. But as we
They're
were
still
saying,
going to count them. Yep,
they're
they're
still
still
going to
going to count
count
them.
them.
They say it will depend on intent, as Sheila said. So if it's obvious that it's Poilievre just spelt a different way, that vote will apply to him. But I think that what we can expect is no results anytime soon,
Good
because there will be
grief.
such a great many of them that need scrutineering. So I'm just calling for real late results on the night of that actual election, Sheila.
And to just show you how accelerating this campaign is against Poilievre, there were 100 names on the ballot
Mhm.
11 days ago. Now there are 210 names on the ballot 11 days later.
Just
And they did this to him in Ottawa Carleton. He faced
mhm.
90 plus candidates there. And so Elections Canada, you knew this was a problem. You had 3 months to fix it. And what did you do? Just say, okay, well, we're just going to go pencil and paper now.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
not the student union
Well,
in grade 11. You know what I mean? Actually, I bet
you
you they would print ballots. This is not the grade 7 class president. This is
right,
Battle River Crowfoot. And
right.
we are a functioning democracy, and we should be able to hold elections without gerrymandering.
A very, very, very important election, we might add.
Right.
This is everything about this election is unique. The leadership of the Conservative Party is up in the air and hooks on this election. And if there was any election that Elections Canada should have paid a great deal of attention to, should have been this one. Should have been this one. But as we ardent followers of the news here at Rebel News know, they spent Elections Canada, I mean, just spent how many, I don't know, millions of dollars on a 7-year DEI plan for Elections Canada. So that's what's real important to them, not the actual elections, not democracy, but applying DEI to the internal mechanisms of Elections Canada. That is a true story.
I feel
So
like I've spent the last 3 years of my life closely examining the crappiness of
mhm,
Elections Canada with
mhm,
absolutely nothing being done. Let us not forget that there was the Foreign
right.
Interference Commission, and I listened to Elections Canada bureaucrats obfuscate their
Mhm,
role in protecting the democratic processes of
mhm.
this country. They're like, well, what do you want us to do? I don't know,
Yeah,
secure elections? Like, that's what you're
yeah,
supposed to do.
yeah.
They told us that China influenced the last two elections,
Mhm.
um, 2019, 2021. And now we have this longest ballot campaign in the
That
middle of this one.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, it's almost like Elections Canada pulls the sleep mask over their eyes when they see an election coming, going like, okay, so we know that they pulled all these dirty tricks before, but maybe they won't this time. Let's go to a struggle session instead. It's what Elections Canada has done. It's
And
what they did.
they lost 800 and some ballots in a BC riding. They just were
They
like,
got
you know what? The elections worker didn't bring them in. That is not a
what?
thing.
It is a thing. It is a thing. Like
Yes. And then, like,
they lost a box of ballots. They also got the postal code wrong
oh,
on a box. Remember, they got a postal code wrong on the box of ballots. Oh, are we starting?
I think we're starting right away.
Okay.
Before, I think they're just setting up how it's going to work.
Okay.
Before we do that, I want to tell everybody about something really, really, really quick. I want to tell people it is your last chance to save on tickets for one of the most conservative events of the year, one of the important event, because I think it's an event that touches on things that Westerners care about, and I think things that our Eastern friends are going to get mugged by reality about real fast. So it's the Canada Strong and Free Networking Conference. It's coming to Calgary September 5th and 6th. Early bird sale ends in just a few short days. August 4th. This year's theme is the West Place in Canada. Do you think we even have one here? Let's talk about it. And you'll hear from some of the biggest voices in Canadian politics and media, including Premier Daniel Smith, Preston Manning, Conrad Black, Tristan Hopper. Reserve your tickets today at canadastrongandfree.network. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to tell you guys about it. I know Rebel News is going to be there. I'll button it up and let's go to that forum if it's starting. Efron?
Whether your priorities are healthcare, agriculture, rural economic development, or small business supports, tonight is a time to learn where each candidate stands. You might ask, why does the Chamber of Commerce host events like these? Because we believe in nonpartisan education, informing voters without influence or endorsement, informed decision-making, providing tools to help you vote with confidence and with clarity, amplifying the business's voice, ensuring the challenges and the needs of our local economy are a part of the conversation, community connection, encouraging respectful dialogue and broad civic participation, democratic accountability, giving candidates a platform to share their vision and respond directly to your concerns, trusted neutrality, offering a fair and welcoming space where democracy can do its work. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce this evening's moderator, Shauna Feth, President and CEO of the Alberta Chambers of Commerce.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Clap now.
Shauna.
I want to tell you guys.
Welcome to this Cameras and District Chamber of Commerce.
They started this off with the land acknowledgements. But I was telling you guys about the Canada Strong and Free Networking Conference, which I think was probably more important. So I'll be quiet.
To present their political platforms on issues relating to the federal government. As your moderator, I will keep a close eye on the content of the candidates' presentations. You know, we are all here to give the candidates an opportunity to express their views on these critical platform issues. All presentations will receive specified times with a warning signal when the candidate is running close to the end of their time, and that's being with two big clocks on each side of the stage to pay attention to. And so with that, I'd like to take a moment to familiarize everyone with the rules of order for the forum. These were communicated to participating candidates prior to this evening. So first of all, no signs may be brought in or posted in the auditorium attached to any walls, curtains, or doors. The forum was called to order promptly at 7 p.m. and the doors to the room have been closed, so anyone arriving late will not be able to be seated until intermission. We will adjourn at 9:30 promptly as well. So the candidates have been seated alphabetically, as you can tell, and will be at the speaker's table starting on the right facing the audience, and we will be introducing them in alphabetical order. Candidates will have 2 minutes to expand on their political platform, and the format of the presentation is at the discretion of the candidates, so it's completely up to them how they use those 2 minutes. The timer will give a 20-second warning, and a bell will ring at the end of the allotted time. No candidate will be allowed more than their allotted time. During the question period, I will read the submitted questions. Each candidate will have a chance to answer in speaking order. The candidate answer order will change in each round. Answers to the question will then be limited to 1 minute to maximize the number that we can ask during the time that we have allotted. We will move to the next question once those wanting to respond have been heard, and so not all candidates are required to respond to each question, but they cannot bank any time for future questions. The question period will be limited to a maximum of up to 100 minutes. Candidates will each have 2 minutes after question period to summarize their platform, and then as moderator, I will have final jurisdiction in all matters. So now a couple of guidelines for attendees. Please be respectful of the candidates presenting their remarks, as well as fellow community members here in attendance. Any disruption that interferes with the candidate's ability to speak may result in time adjustments at my discretion. Individuals causing delays or disruptions will be asked to leave the theater. And please note, for your own awareness, that the emergency exits are located on the left and right side of the theater. So with all of that, please join me in welcoming the candidates for this evening's forum. Welcome, everybody. So, opening remarks. Each of the candidates, as I said, will have 2 minutes to share their opening remarks. The speaking order will be alphabetical based on last name. And so first, I'd like to introduce each of the candidates. We have Grant Abraham, Jonathan Bridges, Bonnie Critchley, Michael Harris, Ashley McDonald, Pierre Poilievre, Darcy Spady, Sarah Spanier, Catherine Swampy, and Jeff Willerton.
Nothing for Catherine. Nope. Not
All
even
right.
a family?
Are you ready to get going, everybody? Okay.
do
With
it.
that, I will call on Grant Abram for his 2 minutes opening remarks.
I don't dislike Grant, by the way.
Okay.
Well, let me just say thank you to the
Evidence.
Chamber for this evening. This is desperately what we need in Canada, to have these kinds of conversations. I'm here because I've spent a lifetime watching elections be decided in Thunder Bay, Ontario, and I've watched the West have the raw end of our structure in our Constitution. And I think that what we're really looking at here in Alberta right now is a discussion between what Canada we want to have, if it's the one that has had the West paying for the pandering to Ontario and Quebec, or whether it's one that wants to see an Alberta strong, free, and independent that can actually stand up and make a difference in this world and actually redefine Canada. And so my discussion tonight, my platform is about a strong and sovereign Alberta and its independence. And I think there's a lot of things in Canada that we're not talking about in relation to the public forum. And I believe that farmers are producers and not polluters. I believe that oil and LNG are a requirement for human prosperity. I believe that reverse racism is racism. I believe the nuclear family is the greatest form of governance known to humanity. I believe that compelled speech is not a Canadian value. I believe that multiculturalism has failed, and I believe that there are only two sexes. One of the challenges that we have here tonight is that there's a lot of trust, and I had my trust in the Conservative Party of Canada as well. But we are facing a threat in this nation of post-nationalism. And in this last 10 years, we've had Justin Trudeau commit to Canada being the first post-nation state. We've had a severe undermining foreign interference, and Justin Trudeau has told us that COVID would provide an opportunity for a reset. There has not been one challenge to the...
Well, okay. Rate that out of 10. 10 stars.
Bridges.
Yep, 10 stars.
Good evening, everybody. Jonathan Bridges with the People's Party of Canada. First and foremost, I am a Christian, and I believe that Canada was founded on Christian values. With the People's Party, we believe that our platform is focused on freedom, fairness, personal accountability, and respect. So with all of that said, we see that there's not a lot of respect given to Alberta. We want to rework the equalization formula to create it to be something that is a hand up to provinces that need it, but doesn't maintain essentially a welfare state going forward. We also want to see Alberta be able to get its products to market with pipelines going across the country and to ports. I think it is absolutely atrocious that we're bringing in foreign oil to a country that has more oil than just about anywhere else on the planet. When it comes to small businesses, mostly what we're trying to do is to start off with paying off the deficit, which then brings lower taxes, which puts more money back in your pockets that you can then give back to your employees, which would create a much more robust economy in this country and bring back what I've seen there. I know there's a strong appetite for separation in Alberta right now. My goal is to bring Canada back to a place where Alberta wants to be. And I do believe that is still possible. However, I will say this, if Alberta does end up separating, I'm staying in Alberta. And yeah, that's me.
Thank you, Jonathan. Bonnie Critchley.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to echo Grant's comments, thanking the Chamber of Commerce for putting this together and allowing us to have this time to discuss things all in one place without any spin or tall tales told. Myself, I am running as an independent. I don't have a party because I firmly believe that party politics are damaging the Canadian politiscape. We are not American. We are not a two-party system. And while I may have run as a centrist with conservative leanings, I firmly believe that the Conservative Party of Canada has lost its way, and I fully intend on standing up for my neighbors.
I don't
When
care
our
about the
previous guy
anti-American
sells
stuff
us
here.
out to let the guy from Ottawa come in, that is not right.
Oh, I don't
firmly
think it's smart
believe
to be running down
that we
Damien
need somebody
Keurig in this
here
riding.
who understands our local issues, who understands the issues of right to repair, who understands that we do need proper oil sands development. Yes, I saw you there. I'm well aware where you are. We do need proper oil sands development. We
Damien's
need
in the
proper
audience.
investment towards our farmers. And we need the federal government to wake up and pay attention outside the western border of Ontario. So that is who I am.
You're not going
And
to
that
make
is
any
what I
friends
am
in that
here
room,
for.
sister.
I am here to stand up only for my neighbors. My voice, your words. I don't have anything else to say.
The drama.
Mercifully.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Holy
Michael Harris.
Hannah. Just
I'm
out
proud
the
to be
gates
here
with-
representing the Libertarian Party of Canada. And
you know what?
why I'm running in this election
That was my
is
guess.
because I am sick and tired of Ottawa taking advantage of Alberta on every level. We have equalization where our money is being taken away from our province and being sent out east, while small towns in this riding barely have enough money to be able to repair the infrastructure, whether that be roads or water development. And we have stuff where we have supply management, where our farmers are being locked out of an industry which represents a majority of this riding. And that also increases the costs of your groceries when you go to the supermarket. We're also dealing with high taxes and high regulations where businesses are struggling to get by. I was in Three Hills the other day, and a couple of businesses told me that they are on the brink of bankruptcy. And if their taxes go up even 1%, they'll be out of business and they'll be leaving this riding. And I'm sick and tired of that. And I also am here championing the idea of self-determination. A lot of people in Alberta are wanting to see a referendum on next year's ballot to see if we want to separate from this country. And I'm here to say that we are here to support it. Thank you.
Okay.
That is the
Thank you,
libertarian
Michael.
position, obviously.
Ashley McDonald.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ashley McDonald. I'm the Green Party of Canada candidate. Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight, and thank you also for the Chamber of Commerce for setting this up.
Look at Poilievre's face.
So far, I'm the oddity at the table. I'm not a separatist. I do believe that Alberta is best in Canada. Maybe things aren't great, but we're sure a hell of a lot better off without. All right. Thank you, everybody. So ultimately, for me, the Green Party of Canada, we believe that change is possible, but we have to vote for it. We can't keep trusting the same institutions that have been around, doing what they've been doing for the past, 100+ years. We as a society are at a precipice. We're surrounded by growing authoritarianism in the world. We're surrounded by climate disasters. Like I said, the rise of authoritarianism. Our hospitals are stretched beyond capacity.
Anti-Trump.
Our society is at a breaking point in many ways. And I believe that we need to come together as a society and vote for change. Like, we are at a precipice and we have to make a choice. Do we want to go back or do we want to go forward? You know,
Back.
we may
I
hear
wanna
a
go
lot
back.
of rage farming from certain people, but we're not a party of that. We're a party of ideas, a party of people.
Have you met your leader?
We don't want to throw around a slogan. We want ideas.
Have you seen
from our
her?
leaders. We have ideas that we believe are the right ideas. So hopefully I can convince a couple of you to vote for us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Pierre Poilievre.
That just happened. That just happened.
Thank you.
Yep. Oh, he's gonna stand. Listen to the crowd.
Stand.
Thank you.
Class.
Thank you very much to the chamber. Thank you to the fellow candidates, though I think that there are about 190 of them that are missing.
He's a bunch of red
Maybe
circles
that's
around
the
everybody.
audience out there.
Yes.
But in all truthfulness, thank you to those who are putting their names forward, and thank you to the great Damien Couric, who has given me the chance to speak for the people of Canada and for Battle River Crowfoot. But most of all, thank you to Battle River Crowfoot, the region that feeds, powers, and protects this country. Feeds through the great ranchers and farmers, powers through the ingenious energy workers, and protects through the brave soldiers at CFB Wainwright. Makes me proud to be an Albertan. Now, in fairness, I'm from Calgary, born and raised, and Calgary's a little ways from Camrose, but there's a lot of shared values across this province and across this country. And my Alberta values taught me about faith, family, and freedom, hard work, helping your neighbors, and those values guided me to fight for the values of this region when I was leader of the party and member of parliament over a couple of decades, that I forced the Liberal government to get rid of their carbon tax. But, which is a local issue in rural communities, forced the debate on developing our resources, slowing down out-of-control immigration, cracking down on drugs and crime. And now I want to take the local issues and provide national leadership to fight against the electric vehicle mandate, because driving a pickup truck is a local issue in the communities across this region. To fight for law-abiding firearms owners, to fight for farmers, and to expand our military. These are local issues that require national leadership, and it would be a privilege to provide.
The crowd loves them.
Thank you, Pierre. Darcy Spady.
Thank you, Shauna. Thanks to Jennifer for the opening speech, and Aaron and Shauna at the Chamber office. You've been very accommodating. I appreciate it. My name is Darcy Spady. I'm from Three Hills, and I don't want to be Prime Minister. I grew up in the Three Hills area. My family has been in the area for many years. I've worked in the energy industry. I went to the University of Alberta and went for engineering degree and have been a petroleum engineer for many years. I've worked in the energy industry in this riding from Wainwright to Morin to Camrose out to Brooks area. He's been involved in stimulating, in cementing, in constructing, in doing intervention in wells all about this province, and more recently in the emissions reduction field. My family originally came to the Battle River in about 1905. They wandered in till about 1920. So the Spadies settled the Battle River area between Castor and Alliance. They still live there to this day. I grew up in Three Hills. My wife's family is in the Irma Viking area. Our families are in the agriculture business west of Acme, Three Hills, Linden. So I understand this riding well, and it's been my entire life. I did get elected in 2017 to become the international president of the Society of Petroleum Engineers, which is about 170,000 people. And I got to see what the rest of the world sees about us and our technology. It also made me realize that the people of Battle River Crowfoot need a centrist option. I haven't seen one since about 1978.
Why do you think that is?
So I would really love to be your responsible representative.
PET years.
I would love to be your member of parliament and sit on the government benches where I could participate in caucus of the government. Thank you.
Why read us his family history?
Thank you, Darcy. Sarah
What a time waster.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Spanier, and I am running as an independent. And one thing that I've heard all of these amazing people do is talk at you. They haven't offered you guys any solutions on what they're going to do. And that's what I want to do for you guys. I am not here to toe party lines. I am here to listen and to actually go get funding where it is needed. We have lost out enormously on the amount of funding because it has not been brought back due to party lines. And I want to bring that back for you guys. I want to help you guys build your small businesses and your agriculture and oil and gas. These are all super important issues here. And I'm listening, and the funding is there. It's just been left there. We have it, we can take it. We don't need to raise taxes to do that. And with me being an independent,
what kind of funding are we talking about?
I don't answer to any party. I answer to you guys. You guys are my boss, nobody else. There is no middleman here. So you can ensure that when you are speaking to me, we don't have to filter through anybody else. I'm here for you guys. I already have a draft of a bill ready to go to help afford the Affordable Food for All Act, which would lower the price gouging, which we are currently seeing through Loblaws and stuff. And I want to ensure that government spending is done appropriately, and we're cutting back on that. And like I said, I want to bring funding back to this area because it's there, and we can grow this small rural community that we all strongly believe in. Thank you.
Oh my. Bring on the breadline, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah. She's one of the ones that complain about people yelling at her at the door. Oh, it's Catherine. There it is.
Thank you so much to the Chamber for setting all of this up, and thank you so much to all of my fellow candidates for coming out here and for standing up for you. I know that Damien is in the crowd. I'll have you know I took down 4 of your signs that were still up. You're very welcome. I will not be reporting them as still up. If any of you see any of my signs out there, because there's so many, please take them down after everything's done. Let me know, I'll go get them.
What a waste of time.
As we all know, we're basically sacrificial lambs when we come out here. It's almost a guaranteed loss. So why are we running? We're running as advocates. We want to be a voice. We want to bring issues that are otherwise ignored by the government. Issues like affordability, budget deficit, economy and jobs, the environment, our healthcare, our housing, Indigenous relations, our management, or I should say proper management of natural resources, our mental health and addictions, our public safety and crime, taxation, dare I say, Trump, small businesses, and seniors. And I'd also like to bring it to some of my fellow candidates' attention that we are all treaty people. So that separation you're thinking about has a few more people that you need to kind of talk to before that can even become a conversation. So
you get a vote like we do.
Yeah.
You get a vote.
Thank you all so much.
You get a vote like we do.
I'm also going to be here to listen to your concerns. What do you want advocated? Because we all know this run really isn't for a new candidate.
Yeah, no kidding.
What can we add to my million-mile-long list?
Thank you, Catherine. Jeff Willerton.
This is Christian Heritage
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jeff Willerton. I'm representing the Christian Heritage Party of Canada. If you remember one line from tonight, I hope you remember this. If you always vote for the lesser of two evils, you'll always have an evil government. Like wrestlers who practice their moves beforehand and go out for a beer after the match, the mainline parties often work together. Brian Mulroney, for instance, signed the Rio Declaration in 1992, leading directly to Justin Trudeau's economy-crushing carbon tax in 2019. It's been said by many that we wouldn't have had one without the other. In 2007, Stephen Harper, along with a certain minister named Pierre Poilievre, signed the United Nations Sustainability Act, leading to Chrystia Freeland declaring a third of Alberta off-limits to development a few years ago. And in 2009, the same Stephen Harper signed what was called the Codex Alimentarius. That strange-sounding beast regarding the labeling of food and drugs paved the way for the Red Team's assault on our natural health products industry in 2023. So one sets up the shot, the other takes it. The cause and effect may at times be years apart, obscuring the connection, but that's how it works when you have two major parties that are wings of the same bird. At other times, their cooperation could be right in your face, like when not a single member of either party raised so much as a finger to stop Bill C-4 in 2021, which threatens you with up to 5 years behind bars if you haven't tell little Johnny that he's a boy. So to be clear, the Tories aren't the solution. They're part of the problem. They always have been. And both they and the Red Team have been working together for decades to land us in this climate change, carbon tax, Gaia-worshipping, freedom of speech, crushing hell in which we find ourselves. How did we get here? By bouncing between the blue team and the red team for 158 years. How do we get out of this mess? Well, by changing course, obviously, but better parties can't take government without winning their first seat. And in my closing comments, I'll tell you more about what I am convinced is simply the best outside-of-the-box political option in this country, bar none. Thank you and God bless.
Right on the nose.
Right on time.
Right on the
Thank
post.
you, Jeff. So now we're going to go into the Q&A portion of the forum. So in announcing the forum, the Camrose and District Chamber of Commerce extended an invitation to the public to submit questions ahead of this evening. So I just wanted to say thank you to those of you in attendance who submitted questions or anyone who submitted questions for our candidates for the forum. Candidates will each have 1 minute to respond to each question. We will move to the next question once those wanting to respond have been heard. Again, I will say candidates are not required to respond, but they cannot bank time for the next question either. So without further ado, let's jump right into the questions. So this first one, we're going to start with you, Grant, on this one. Is on economy and jobs. So many Canadians recall when a single income such as that of a postal worker, assembly line worker, or rig hand was sufficient to support a family. Today, that is increasingly no longer the case. So what specific measures would you propose to meaningfully improve affordability and economic security for everyday Canadians?
Come on, mass deportations.
I'll tell you what, I think we need to look at immigration because our young people can't get jobs because new immigrants are subsidized in all of the entry-level jobs. Let's start there. Let's start by talking about making sure we don't have flights to Amritsar back and forth because we do have an immigration problem. It is driving up our housing prices. We had a long time Mr. Poilievre telling us that there was no link between demand and supply in our housing and or the immigration issue. We simply have to look at that. I know this question is about the economy, but let's start in terms of where our kids and our grandchildren are in terms of trying to get on the ladder. There are many things that we need to fix. We need to repatriate our industrial base to this country. We need to incentivize entrepreneurship again, and we need to stop the flight of funds out of this country. The problem is that our people are leaving this country because we have deeper problems that we never talk about in this nation, and it's rooted in post-nationalism.
Okay.
Thank you, Grant. Jonathan.
So fixing the economy mirror a lot of what Grant said. I mean, there is obviously a lot of people coming to this nation, over 1.2 million a year for the last several years. It is crowding out people in the housing market. It is crowding people out of the jobs market. So those are two very big things that contribute to affordability. The other thing the People's Party would see done is lowering taxes. The average Canadian is paying somewhere north of 42% of their paycheck straight to the government. The American Revolution was fought over at 3%. We have got to the point of what I believe is ridiculous with taxes. So with lower taxes, then we'd have more money to go forward. And also, bringing more jobs back to Canada. We need our industry back so that we can shore up our supply chains so we don't have a repeat of what happened during COVID where we couldn't find products to buy even.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Bonnie. I've never done this sitting down speaking thing well, so I'll stand up. Yes, basing our economy off of immigration numbers, not a good idea. But before we worry about our economy, we need to worry about our government spending. When the federal government is bloated and sending out third-party contracts such as Veterans Affairs, contracting out care of veterans to Loblaws, we need to deal with it. The bloating has to stop. We need our middle managers to actually leave instead of just cutting the teeth. We also need our MPs to stop spending excessive amounts of money when we have one person who spends more than the next two of your money. Then we can look at cutting our taxes and making our employment that much easier to manage.
Thank you, Bonnie. Michael.
So first and foremost, we need to get rid of the welfare state. Main issues number one is that this government is spending way too much money. We are both in debt and in a deficit at the same time, where we are making no money. At the same time, we are paying the highest amount of taxes that we have ever paid in our entire life. So we need to be lowering the amount that our government is spending. I see all the time where money is being wasted in random projects across the country where they're not actually going towards the services that are needed here in this riding. And to top on to that, after we got the welfare state, we need to get rid of all taxes here in this country, starting at the income tax level, going towards business taxes. Because you pay taxes on everything that you do, whether it be on your paycheck, when you go to the store, driving your car, anything. You are paying taxes, and we want to fight to get rid of as many as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Pierre.
That was Michael. It's my turn now.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Cares? It's just the Green Party,
I
dude.
you got your names turned around on the script, so my apologies, Michael.
That would be Ashley again.
Okay. You have to have one faux pas. I can't be perfect, right? Sorry
Two.
about that,
You had
Ashley.
two, lady.
Just so we're clear, when we go into the ballot box, I'm Ashley MacDonald.
You have to write it in.
Just think of the golden arches. It's close enough to my spelling. It'll work.
Okay, you're wasting time.
All right, so basically for me, the Green Party platform believes in a restructuring Canada's resource economy. Basically to establish national strategy reserves and critical resources, phase out raw resource exports by prioritizing domestic reserves, processing, and manufacturing. That will in turn create more jobs, create more industry within Canada, take our raw materials out of the hands of foreign governments who can control everything and sell it back to us at a higher cost.
What
then
happens
in addition
when
to
we
that,
produce more
we
than
are
that?
also very firmly against, wanting to end poverty. Though we do that through a series of measures such as strengthening the Canadian disability benefits, creating programs for families through poverty reduction incentives, as well as the creation of.
Do you know what? Moment of honesty. That's a Freudian slip, good sir.
I'm telling you.
He's just Mr.
The cause
Slip
of
Up.
inflation is government. Cost, yes, it's very simple. Supply and demand. The government is boosting demand and limiting supply. They're boosting demand through out-of-control immigration and money printing that adds more money and people than new products for them to buy. And they're restricting the supply of things by blocking everything from home building to natural resource development. So what's the solution? We need to cut back on immigration. In fact, we need to have negative population growth for the next several years as more people leave than come. We need to slash bureaucracy, consultants, foreign aid, corporate welfare, and handouts to fraudulent refugees. And we need to unlock our resources to produce cheap energy and affordable homes. So let's produce more stuff rather than adding more people and more money.
Great answer. Simple.
Thank you, Pierre. Darcy.
Thank
the
you.
liberal. He didn't say he was a liberal.
One of
He's
the reasons
liberal.
I took this position to be the candidate for the Liberals is because I'm impressed with the leader. I come from about a 35-year career in business, and I'm very thankful for it.
Pro Mark Carney.
I like Mark Carney's government and his approach to
an
leading from the position of experience.
Yeah.
He has been the central
booed.
banker for 2 major economies in the G7. This
Poilievre's
is significant. And when I see his actions now, I'm impressed. So for me as a farmer, I want commodity prices for my crops to be good, and he is working on that by getting the economy going east to west, as well as unrupturing the foreign markets. Also, as an oil and gas guy, I want my product shipped to Tidewater, and Bill C5 has already started the movement in that direction. Thank you.
Except it gave Indigenous and Quebec a veto.
Thank you, Darcy.
So it doesn't mean
Sarah.
anything. He got booed.
My big thing on affordability is actually bringing funding back, like I said. We need more support for farmers. There are grants, there's funding out there that I am more than happy to bring back for you guys.
We don't want
handouts. I have
handouts.
something called the Affordable Food for All Act bill, which would reduce the cost burden of groceries on everyday Canadians. And it would ensure that edible food waste still gets put back into food banks and stuff like that, so you don't have to worry as much about how much your grocery bill is going to cost.
Feeding the poor people garbage?
I also want to put forth a second bill that would actually limit government spending. The $187.8 million that our government just spent in taxpayer dollars, we need to cut that big time. And I want to be the one to do that.
Out handouts on one side, but cut government spending on the other side.
Yeah.
People garbage.
Catherine.
Who will build an economy that works for the people, not the powerful? The heart of the economy is the working people. When people are feeling this worried about whether they can pay the bills, who is the economy really working for?
Propped up Mark Carney.
And things are about to get even tougher. Under the Liberals and Conservatives, the powerful and wealthy keep getting further ahead. And the rest of us keep falling further behind.
Sure did.
For them, the economy is about investors and corporations and their profits.
Like Brookfields?
And that doesn't work for me. It shouldn't work for you. I'm focused on growth that works for you and your family, where you have a chance to get ahead.
How?
Right now, that means a plan to buy Canadian and build Canadian. To fight for every job, including jobs in the public sector. Saving Canadian jobs is so vital, especially considering...
She wants a bigger public service.
Bigger
Thank you, Catherine. Jeff.
Elbows up.
Thank you for the question. Ladies and gentlemen, the Christian Heritage Party is the only party that I'm aware of that advocates eliminating income taxes and business taxes and replacing them with a consumption tax called the fair tax. That will absolutely leave more money in each of your pockets to make groceries more affordable. I think that was the question, where the question started. Economy and jobs. Anyways, so this will stimulate the economy, and it's been said that the first country that goes down this road is the winner, because everybody's going to want to be there and open up their businesses there. I think it would be just a fantastic idea, but that's on the taxation side. But on the spending side, Margaret Thatcher turned England around. Javier Milei has turned Argentina around, first balanced budget in 128 years. Yes. There's another government, I don't know its name, down in El Salvador that's turned El Salvador around, believe it or not. It can be done. We can downsize government and balance the budget and make it.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeff. So the next question, we're going to start with you, Jonathan, just to give you a heads up. So this one's immigration and population growth. So Alberta's population, we've already heard some of this already in some of the answers, but Alberta's population is growing rapidly, raising concerns about pressure on public services, the treatment of newcomers, and the ability of infrastructure to keep pace. Do you support increased immigration? And how would you ensure newcomers are protected and supported while ensuring services can meet the demands of a growing population?
Ooh, that's going to be hard for him to answer, Mr. PPC candidate.
I would say
the People's Party's position on immigration at the moment is that we need to actually just press pause. We shouldn't have more people coming to a country that can barely keep our own fed. We have veterans that can't afford a house to live in, can't afford food to eat. It's unconscionable. I do believe that there is a place for true refugees if they need assistance to come in while there is unrest in their home country, but I also believe very strongly that when that unrest is done, they should be going back home. We have a great country, and it's not going to stay that way if we just keep letting absolutely everybody in without any qualification at all. That being said, my family was immigrants once upon a time, and I'm not opposed to controlled immigration.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Over-immigration causes anti-immigration sentiments.
Well, I think Jonathan said it best. Controlled immigration. It definitely needs to slow down. We are not in a position right now to take care of our own, much less other people. But again, before we can look at immigration and costs, we need to deal with our government bloat before we can deal with immigration. We need to deal with all those middle managers who give immigrants stacks of paper this big.
No,
when
let's get rid of
they
the
are
immigrants
doctors,
first.
they are the skills we are desperately needing, but our government fails to acknowledge their skills, their education. Yes, we need to slow down immigration. Stopping it entirely is a bad thing. Not acknowledging the skill sets that people bring to continue to deal with our country and the issues we've got is also something that needs to be dealt with. We got to cut the government bloat. Then we can afford to feed everybody.
Thank you, Bonnie. Michael.
Honestly, I'm going to agree with Bonnie on this because a lot of the times people like to blame immigrants for a lot of problems in this country. And most of the time, you can probably blame the welfare state. A lot of the times, our government is just handing out
This is where the
cash
libertarians
to new
lose
people in
me
this
because they
country.
don't believe in
I think
borders.
there's a bill that was recently passed in Ontario where our Doug Ford has given around $10 or so billion for hotel development for newer people coming into this country. That is, in my opinion, a complete waste of money. We need to be able to, if people are wanting to move this country, they need to be bringing their own money to come here safely. And I personally believe it should be the decision of Alberta to choose who is coming into this province and who is not. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Ashley.
Okay.
Right, good.
Ashley.
So for me, immigration is one of Canada's greatest strengths. It brings new skills, energy, ideas, and cultural richnesses to our communities. And at a time when many of our regions are suffering labor shortages and aging populations, immigration can help build a more vibrant, sustainable future for newcomers and longtime residents alike. But immigration must be planned and responsible. The Liberal government made a serious error when they took the advice of McKinsey and Company and set an annual immigration target of 500,000 people with no plan on where these people were going to live, what communities they're going to go to, and how we are going to build and adapt these communities to all these newcomers. There was no published targets for temporary residents until just last year. We believe in learning from these mistakes. Immigration targets must be thoughtful, transparent, and aligned with Canada's real capacity and long-term planning for both temporary and permanent immigration. Immigration is great when it's done right.
Thank you, Ashley. Pierre.
I agree, and we did it right for 150 plus years, whether it was the frontier pioneers who came and settled the prairies, or the great Italians and Portuguese who came and built roads and founded families across Canada, or my wife who came as a refugee. Her dad picked fruit in a farm field so that he could pay the rent, and now they're a successful story. But over the last 10 years, the Liberals have adopted a post-nationalist ideology. They call it the Century Initiative, to triple our population, to favor globalist interests and multinational corporations at our expense. They've driven down wages with excess temporary foreign workers, with abusing the international student program and allowing fraudulent and often criminal arrivals to come in and abuse our system. That abuse must stop. We must have more people leaving than coming over the next several years as we bring down our population and allow our health care, our housing, our job market.
Thank you, Pierre. Darcy.
So I love meeting new Canadians and I love working with new Canadians. They are a whole group of energy that you don't often see. But we have to balance that with people who originally were here, people like myself who came later, and it all has to work together. And I do believe it's time for a little bit of a pause and an adjustment on the immigration. I believe we went a little too rapidly. I'm involved in the University of Alberta and in the Petroleum Engineering Advisory Council. And one of the things that has given the universities all across the country a lot of grief is this student visa fiasco. So I believe the Carney government is presently pausing things and looking at things, and that's critical. If I put myself back in my shoes, my family arrived in the Battle River Valley smelling of garlic sausage and getting off the train speaking all kinds of funny languages. And we were the backbone of this country, so I think we need to continue, but it has to be a balanced approach that needs adjusting.
Thank you, Darcy. Sarah?
I believe in putting Canadians first. I believe that we should lower immigration levels just a little bit, but also reinvest in Canadians. We have tons of people who are living here who have untapped skills, and we can create programs that could reinvest into our economy. If we create programs, more programs, where doctors can come from different countries, they're already here, and reintegrate faster, we can have more doctors, we can have more healthcare professionals. You know, we have people here who can help us, and we need to focus on immigration with balance and compassion, but we also need to recognize that we do need to slow it down a little bit. Thank you.
Non-answer. Good non-answer.
Thank you, Sarah. Catherine?
I think a handful of my colleagues up here need to check their privilege. Immigration is vitally important to our country. And when you look on a global scale, there's a war happening in Gaza, in Ukraine, and significant unrest in the United States. Where will these people be able to go? We should be welcoming people here in Canada. We should allow them to come here. And that doesn't mean that there won't be programs or services for everyone else. It's not pie. It doesn't mean that it's cut and they get everything and you get nothing. That's not the way it works. Canada is vast. There's more than enough area. This riding is vast. It takes me 8 hours just to get across it. There's more than enough space.
Magic money.
And if anything, the farmers need hands. Every farmer I spoke to needs help.
Do we need slaves from the third world?
Thank you.
Catherine? Also, First Lady to call you a settler.
The Liberals have done everything they can to ruin this country. They tax as much as they can. Thank you. I don't have much to say this time around, so keep it up. I'm just kidding. No, they've done everything they can to ruin this country as fast as they can. They tax as much as they can. They spend as fast as they can. They give away as much money as they can, and they open the doors to everybody who wants to come here. I believe in controlled immigration, but I believe that there needs to be a pause on immigration until we get our own house in order and get things under control here. So I agree that people in war-torn countries, my neighbor Catherine here, they would not be refugees so much as, they would not be immigrants so much as refugees. And so there's an argument for that. But we need to make just about a complete pause on immigration at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Grant.
I'm going to stand up here because my legs are sore. Well, I'll say this. My family is an immigrant family. We pioneered land about 125 miles from here. And I'm a very proud Western Canadian. I'll tell you this, you guys are being sold a bill of goods here tonight from Mr. Poilievre because he's talking to you about unleashing our energy sector. I would like to know how Mr. Poilievre's going to do that when he refuses to tell us whether he'll leave the UN Climate Accord that completely restricts our carbon. I would like to know about inflation. Inflation is government. No. Inflation is government debt. And the reason we have lost 40% of our spending in this nation is because of rampant spending that is destabilizing our country. And that is exactly why we have a U.S. president looking at a post-national government that is careening towards destruction. We need to have deeper...
Time's up.
Thank you, Grant. So this next question, Bonnie, we're going to start with you. This one is around government accountability and democracy. So given that several candidates do not reside within the boundaries of this riding, what does local representation mean to you? And what specific actions will you undertake to ensure the perspectives and priorities of the constituents are authentically represented?
Oh, goody. You found my favorite one. I absolutely 100% agree. If you want to run for an area, you need to live here.
Okay, but I just, there's something about this lady's demeanor I don't like.
Pretty rough around the
This
edges.
longest ballot crap, that's got to stop. We need one person who will be the official agent. That way we don't have one person sponsoring 200 people. But first and foremost, you don't know what's going on here unless you live here. As for government accountability, I absolutely would use my position as a swing vote within a minority government to push for government accountability. I want to release everybody's spending. Thank you very much.
What does that mean? I can see their expenses.
Thank you, Bonnie. Michael.
Okay. I believe first and foremost, you have to be able to live in the riding to be able to represent it. Number two, you have to be able to show up to all the events. You have to be able to go from town to town. This is a big riding and talk to every single person in this riding that you can. And I've seen out of the 200 or so candidates that are running in this election, I don't think even 75% of them are stepping foot in the province. And that's got to stop. I don't know what Thomas or whatever his official and agent name is trying to chorus in our writing here, but that's got to stop. I'm sorry. And for representation and accountability for my bid for the member of parliament position would be, I'm not running for a wage. I'm wanting to be your member of parliament for free. I'm not willing to take a wage. I don't want a pension. I want to make sure that at the end of the day you have good representation, and I'm doing it for free. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
I don't want any volunteers,
Ashley.
honestly.
Yeah, I don't want to volunteer
Well,
either.
right off the bat, I'll admit, I do not live in this riding. I live in Red Deer, so I'm adjacent to the riding. I'm not thousands of kilometers away, but no, I do not live in the within BRC myself.
Ashley
One of the
McDonald's,
quickest, easiest
Green
ways
Party.
possible to make sure something like this doesn't happen with a long ballot committee is electoral reform. The Green Party's been pushing for this for decades. The Liberal Party campaigned on it in 2015, came into office swearing this was the last election by first past the post, gave it to an inexperienced junior MP who had no idea what they were doing, then underfunded it, under-advertised it, had tiny little town halls that hardly anybody went to, and then just poof, it disappeared. So now here we are, 210 people, most of them on up here as a protest because they're angry at first past the post, now it ignores people. This system needs to be changed. A Green MP would fight for that every day that they're in Parliament.
Green MP
Thank
from
you,
Red
Ashley.
Deer.
Pierre.
Thank you very much. Look, I'll be honest, having a leader of a political party as your local member of parliament is a trade-off. On the one hand, the leader, in truth, lives in hotel rooms, in low-budget hotel rooms across the country. I can assure you, they live in St. John's, Newfoundland one night, and in Sault Ste. Marie the next, and maybe Port Alberni after that. At the other side, though, is that leader can bring a very powerful megaphone to the local issues of the community. For example, getting a pipeline built from Hardisty over to Prince Rupert or to Kitimat, that is a local issue that requires national leadership. Protecting your right to own a hunting rifle, that is a local issue that requires national leadership. Fixing the prison in Drumheller is a local issue that needs national leadership. I will provide that strong.
Thank you, Pierre. Darcy.
I'm Darcy Spady. I'm from Three Hills, and I don't want to be Prime Minister.
Yeah, we heard. Thank
Kudos
you
to
for your
you.
family history.
For being. I really
be.
have had
Don't
a great
worry,
career.
Darcy.
I've been part of this East Central Alberta community for my whole life, and
We
I
heard.
really want to just represent the key issues here onto the government benches. I feel very strongly as an energy, oil and gas guy, I've known what happens here in the exploration and the coal bed methane here across this region, in the deeper Duvernay to the south, and I've watched the production grow, the reservoirs, the field engineers who do the work, the service companies. I want to see that prosper, and I want to see the agriculture sector prosper. I'm not asking for much. I'm asking to be your local responsive representative on the government benches. Thank you.
I'm your Mark Carney.
Yeah.
Thank you,
what he just
Darcy.
said.
Sarah.
I don't want to be prime minister.
For
I'm not
me,
worried about
I want
it.
to be your representative. I don't want to be a representative for anybody else other than the people of Battle River Crowfoot. I do not care what side of the political spectrum you guys are on. We are all on different sides of the spectrum, and that is A-okay. But I am here to listen and to help and to bridge the gap between this political spectrum that we are continuing to see a divide in. It is time that we actually pay attention and listen to what each other are saying and understand that we are essentially all fighting for the same thing. We're just saying it a different way. And I want to be somebody here who can be accountable, be representative for you guys. And like I said, at the end of the day, you guys are my boss. Nobody else. I answer to nobody else but you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Catherine.
Well, I'm from Muskogee, Alberta, and once upon a time that used to be a part of this riding. It's no longer a part of the riding. I was back in 2015 when I ran against Kevin. Thank you for being here. But I mean, I'm a hop, skip, and a jump away from the border. It literally is 2 minutes walk from my house. But
you ain't walking.
With all that said, I'm an hour out of Camrose, or 40 minutes out of Camrose, but Drumheller is
Catherine.
2-3 hours away from
defensive.
you guys. So I don't know if that matters all that much. I'm not in Ontario, I'm not from Ontario, and I come to the riding, or I come throughout this entire riding on the regular. I'm here every other day, so I'll still be here, even after all of this.
No, you aren't there though. You don't live there.
Thank you,
You're
Catherine.
in Massachusetts.
Jeff.
Ladies and gentlemen, I call Airdrie home, and I also don't want to be prime minister. But the issue of, and of course I will relocate here in a heartbeat if I win. That's not a problem. But the issue of first past the post came up. The Tories, the issue came up in Parliament, and there was a free vote on it not long ago. And the Tories, almost to the man, only 3 dissented, but the Tories resisted and rejected the idea of even talking about first past the post. Proportional representation, which would help small parties like ours get a voice in this country. So they're good with first past the post because it works for them. That's not good for the country, it's not good for democracy. But anyways, I can hardly believe it was a free vote. I think they were whipped. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Grant.
I think the people of Battle River and Crowfoot are interested in the truth. The truth is the Conservative Party voted for Bill C-4 that will criminalize you if you stop your child transitioning. Each of you will go to jail for 5 years. Pierre Poilievre talks about faith, family, and freedom. It's a sham. And I think the other conversation we continue to need to have is what is really going on. What's going on in this country is that our sovereignty is being betrayed on a national level. And the only response is the people of Alberta that have the faith, the resiliency, the strength, the wealth, and the grit to actually stand up to the selling out of the nation. And so while we're talking about this tonight, remember, we are talking about 2 Canadas, because what's happening in this country is a pandering to Ontario and Quebec to get this gentleman elected, and you're paying the price. That's what's going on.
Oh. We're just dropping hammers.
Thank you, Jonathan.
So electoral reform, it's been a problem for quite some time where we see large portions of this country voting, and actually more, I believe more votes for the Conservative Party than the Liberals in this last election, yet the Liberals have the government. It doesn't really make sense that that's the case. I will be honest, between raising 5 children and working full-time, I haven't been able to go out and hammer out the details on electoral reform, but I would definitely bring that up before Parliament if I was elected. And for those who are interested, I was born and raised in the Battle River Crowfoot area. I spent all of my life here. So it's very near and dear to my heart, and I very much want to stay here and see it become a very prosperous region in this country of Canada.
Thank you, Jonathan. So next question, we're going to start with you, Michael. This one is around healthcare and social services. So Canada's public healthcare system is a core part of our identity, yet many are concerned about the quiet rise of privatization, services being outsourced, user fees increasing, and private clinics becoming more common. Do you believe this trend threatens universal healthcare? And what would you do to protect and strengthen our public system?
Thank you. First of all, I want to point out the Libertarian Party is in favor of private healthcare. I personally believe in a little bit of a hybrid system where we still have free healthcare for those that can't afford basic access to healthcare, while still allowing healthcare for those that can afford it. If they want to pay for it, they should be able to get it fast and easy. Because right now, there are currently waits for up to about 8 hours on average just to see a doctor, not to get treatment, but just to see a doctor. And that's across the board in this communal system that we call the public healthcare system. And if people are able to afford better healthcare or be able to get it faster, why not? We can still keep our public healthcare system, but why not let those that can afford it get better healthcare? Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Ashley.
Okay, so here in Alberta for a number of years, we've heard about, privatizing healthcare. Our system is broken. Our system is being attacked. It's not broken by its very nature. It's being attacked by forces that want to privatize it. And I get what Michael's saying about how he supports a blended system of sorts, or this hybrid system of a blended private and public, but if we don't have enough doctors and nurses and social workers and psychologists and pharmacists
He's the liberal.
we're going to have even less when the for-profit side can pay them more than what the government can pay them. So this doesn't actually fix the system, it's going to make it even worse. A green government believes that everyone deserves a doctor, deserves access to pharmacare, deserves access to dentistry, mental health services, therapy, and so on.
For everyone.
We would pass a Primary Care Health Act that would guarantee every citizen's access to these much.
Okay, thank you. Ooh, thank God for that bell.
Pierre.
Quite frankly, it's the Liberal government in Ottawa that has denigrated our healthcare system. To start with, with the out-of-control population growth of particularly the last 5 years, our ratio of patient to doctor is now worse than it's ever been. We need to cap immigration to ensure that we can add doctors and nurses faster than we add people. Second, we need to grow our economy faster because our federal healthcare transfer grows at the same rate as our economy. And that means unleashing our resources and lowering taxes and making our economy stronger. And third, we have 20,000 immigrant doctors, 32,000 immigrant nurses who cannot work because they can't get a license. We have a red seal that's already in place for the trades, a national license for the licensed trades. We should do the same thing with a blue seal based on a high standard that immigrant doctors can take a test, prove they're qualified, and get to work in our hospital.
That we're not doing that now is an outrage.
Thank you, Pierre. Darcy.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love the Canadian healthcare system. I've been a user of it my entire life, except for when I was out of the country. And I think we have the greatest system on earth. And frankly, the present government and the work they're doing to make sure it's consistently across all
we kill people
the
to clean up the wait lists.
is a lot of work, and I'm happy the way it's working. Myself, I have 2 new knees brought to me by the Alberta system. And I want to ensure that if I live in New Brunswick or Ontario, as a Canadian, I want to make sure I have consistency. So to me, the system as a whole needs to continue as it is and get better with time, because it is one of the best in the world.
Most people just leave the country.
I've lived out of the country a couple times in the United States and come back into our system, and I can say our system, given that we have our neighbors to the south, is certainly a preferred system for me.
It is not, Darcy. It is not.
Thank you, Darcy. Sarah.
I want to say thank you to Pierre first for elaborating on my point about increasing doctors, international doctors. So thank you for that. Glad we agree on that. But one thing I can do as an independent is, this is exactly where my leverage comes in place in a minority government. I can go in, and if somebody wants my vote, I can say, yeah, sure, I will give you my vote, but I want to write in that we can have something that will benefit the people of Battle River Crowfoot. You want more rural health supports? Sure, let's write that into the bill. Let's make sure that happens. Let's use the leverage that an independent would have in a minority government to get the things that we need in this province. We need more doctors, we need more healthcare workers, and an independent is going to be a great way to try and get that here. Thank you.
No, girl, no.
Girl, no.
Thank you, Sarah. Catherine.
Oh, here comes
An
Catherine.
estimated 6.5 million Canadians don't have a doctor, and the problem is only getting worse. And when Pierre Poilievre was in government with Stephen Harper, he cut $43.5 billion in healthcare transfers. Nearly 4 million Canadians will have diabetes medicine for free, and nearly 10 million Canadians will have free birth control because the NDP fought for it.
Both of those are lifestyle-related medicines. Both of them.
Because the NDP fought for it. At a time like this, Canadians want to fight for the public health care more than ever. And we will take steps to crack down on privatization. We won't sell out our health care to American-style, for-profit system. NDP promised 4 years ago to fight for pharmacare and dental coverage, and we never stopped. And now millions of people will benefit. Next.
Bye.
Thank you, Catherine.
Catherine's going to need that knee
ladies and
replacement
gentlemen,
surgeon to put some new elbows in for her. She's wearing them out.
A Liberal government promise you the sun, the moon, and the stars. But at the end of the day, as Vladimir Lenin said, socialism is the first and necessary step on the road to communism. So it's where these things go that you have to be concerned about.
True.
Nice to have everything for free, but nothing is free. And the CHP government is committed to maintaining our universal healthcare insurance, but it doesn't matter to me who delivers it as long as it's delivered in a time free, first of all, and in a timely manner. Did I say free? Sorry about that. Anyways, so we need to maintain the best of the universal healthcare system that we have. That is our insurance system. But again, it really doesn't matter who delivers the service as long as it's done in a timely manner. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeff. Grant.
Well, I find it very interesting that we're speaking about a provincial issue in a federal election debate. I'd remind you that the only relevant issue in the discussion about our health care in Alberta is the fact that we're submitting equalization payments to Ottawa, and we're dropping about $10 to $12 billion a year. If we actually had that money, we could have an amazing healthcare system. And where that money's going is to support the broken infrastructure within this nation and to prop up Ontario and Quebec. So if you really want to talk about a healthcare system that's working, let's actually look at where that money's going that's from Alberta. And I celebrate our healthcare system. I celebrate the universal healthcare system. It's led the world. But let's be real about the economics of this, because it's equalization that's the problem here, and the country's broken. And we are going down the drain economically. Inflation is because we're burdened with debt, and there's no plan.
Oh, I wish he had more than a minute, truly.
Jonathan.
Grant, I'd like to thank you for reminding us all that it is the province that chooses how to spend the money. I need each and every one of you to go out and talk to your MLA and ask them why there is so much bloat on the top of AHS. There are way more managers than there are workers. It does not work that way. If my company worked that way, we'd never get anything done. As far as private versus public health care, I truly believe that we already have a two-tiered system. We have lots of people spending lots of money outside of our country to get care faster. If we allow private enterprise to provide these care inside of our country, that keeps more money in our economy, which then increases our economy and gives everybody else a better chance at making it's tax revenue, it's everything. It keeps the money here where it should be.
Got a little off track.
Thank you, Jonathan.
That's okay.
Bonnie.
Oh, here comes Bonnie.
Well, first off, I want to pull everybody's attention to the fact that Monsieur Poilievre totally skipped the accountability portion of the government accountability question. But carrying on, I do appreciate that he reiterated my point about immigration and the Canadian government not accepting the governments and the qualifications of people. However, healthcare is provincial.
But
I hate to say
aggressive?
it. I want to help. I
Right.
want to fix it.
I don't get
It's
it.
provincial. I personally would love to see it go federal.
Aggressively
because I've gone
passive-aggressive.
province to province to province with my job, and suddenly the things I can do in Alberta, I can't do in Saskatchewan. I can't do in BC. I can't do in New Brunswick. I would like to see it come back provincial so that we do not have individuals such as Ms. Smith completely selling us out.
Oh, that is going to be an unpopular phrase in that room. It's getting booed.
Mixed bag.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Booed.
So now we are going to take a 20-minute break and come back at 8:30. So get up, refresh yourselves, use the facilities, have conversations amongst yourself and enjoy. And we'll be back here promptly at 8:30.
Well,
Shauna.
Yeah, Shauna, thanks. Because I got a few things to do. I got some stuff to do on the live stream here. I'm going to breeze through some of your chats, then we'll take an ad break. I think Lise needs to top up her nicotine in her blood system. And I'm going to run out and try to cram a couple of snacks in my face because I didn't really eat supper. So before we do a super quick ad break, I just want to thank the 2,000 of you that are concurrently watching us on YouTube right now.
Thousands and thousands of viewers. Thank you guys.
A local by-election. Like, I don't want to be like, I popped over to one of our compatriots in the conservative media space.
Yes.
And I don't want to brag, but we were smoking them. And I even got in their chats. I didn't say anything mean. I just asked them questions because I was over there visiting, and I thought, you know what? Maybe they wonder what I'm doing. Maybe they can come watch us. I didn't try to bring them over. Don't. I wasn't
lure them.
To do that. No, it was more of a grooming process. Anyway, but yeah, thank you guys so much for doing that for us. Thanks to the entire Rebel News team, by the way, who are working late. You got to remember, they're on Toronto time. So it's 10:15-ish for them, and they're still in the studio covering a local Alberta by-election.
God bless them. God bless them. Everyone.
Every single one. Let's get to some chats here. I'm going to try to breeze through them.
Yeah.
The time and money wasted on Indigenous, DEI, and LGBT plus is atrocious. Stop it all, and let's just separate PPC all the way. That's from Dave Azo. Gives us $5 to say that. So we've got a PPC fan in the crowd.
Thanks, Dave. I can agree with the very first part of that. Very good. Very
Time
good.
wasting. You know, that's the thing about Catherine Swampy. She's all about the immigrants, but she's the first kind of lady who will look you in the face and call you a settler colonialist. And
That's
I've been here since 1903.
A genocidal settler colonialist.
Yeah, and it's like,
another thing to note real quick about Catherine Swampy, Sheila, she did not mention her 2S LGBT, her beloved 2S LGBTQIA.
It's not the crowd for it.
No, and I think she knows it. She knows
the Camrose lovable curmudgeons are probably not all for that. Not a paid chat, but this should inspire you guys to get chatting, because sometimes you're not paid chats end up in the list of chats. Rocky Mountain Duke says, Sheila and Lise are my favorite election stream hosts, so I had to join tonight. Oh, well, thank you so much.
Well, we love you back, Rocky Mountain Duke. Like, you are one of our most on-fire commenters. Thanks so much for being here, buddy. Thank you.
Yes. And let me know in the chats, who do you think is winning so far? And who do you think is your favorite? Because I think those are two different things. Like, who is your heart and your brain can be two different candidates, right? And I feel that way right now.
During the leaders' debates, it was not any of the three, the Mark Carney, the Pierre Poilievre, or the Jagmeet Singh, who were the stars. It was Yves Francois Blanchette.
Yeah.
Okay, he was the one that was saying all the things, and there is a standout here. Okay, I'm going to keep my little report card to myself to the very end. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stars next to the person that is speaking to my heart. So who is it for you guys? Let us know.
Let us know in the chats.
Yeah.
Who has your heart
Yeah.
But who has the who has your practical mind? Because I'm watching this, I'm like, sing it, Grant Abraham. But
just preach, bro.
Right? But at the same time, would he beat a conservative on the ballot? Like a conservative brand conservative on the ballot?
It's a steep climb. It's a steep climb. But am I liking how Grant Abraham is whispering in my ear?
Do you know what? That's the thing. Leave it all on the dance floor.
Yeah.
You know? Just do that.
I gotta say how much I'm enjoying getting to know each one of these candidates.
I feel like I know them. I feel like they know them.
We need a lot more of this in Canada, you guys, because
this style is good.
It's beautiful. And I really, I got a bunch of thoughts on all of the candidates. It's just awesome to have you guys with us.
Yeah, hats off to the Chamber of Commerce in Camrose. I really enjoy this format. And everybody gets the same question. And so you sort of get to see how they're the same and how they're the different.
Super concise. The 1 minute, it's perfect so far.
Yeah.
Well done, Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, and the bell is nice instead of like a or like a foghorn. It's like
a nice little polite ding-a-ling. Yeah.
Jeff 19 gives us $5. Happy 10th anniversary. Looking forward to the party in September. Best and bravest reporters around. Well, thank you for bringing that up. You can join us for our birthday party, September 18th, I believe. And it's at the Carriage House Hotel and Conference Center in Calgary. We hope to see you there. We had our 10th birthday like back in February, but there was some things happening in the country and we just didn't want to stop to celebrate with you because it's really a celebration of you who helped us survive a decade. It feels crazy because I feel like our death was predicted like a gajillion times by a bunch of people who continuously get laid off in the mainstream media. Like, I had the same job for 10 years. How about you, Madam Gilmore?
Right. Oh, shots fired.
How about you, Glenn McGregor? How many
Shots
jobs have you had in the
fired.
last 10 years? Anyway, you can join us. Go to happybirthdayrebel.com. I'll be there. At least we'll be there. We promise we will be overdressed. I plan to look like a disco ball. Like you don't want to have the light catch me because I will burn
You'll be
ants.
that sparkly?
I will burn ants in the vicinity by casting off rays.
Yeah. The vibe that I'm going with is junior prom. Like, this is my junior prom, right?
I'm going for
showing up
Dynasty Diva.
Listen, if I pile out of a limousine, nobody look. Actually, everybody look. Take pictures. I'd like that documented. But yeah, there's no sparkle or bow that will escape the junior prom theme of the Rebel 10-year anniversary birthday dinner. Dinner and event, an evening. Yes.
Puffy sleeves.
I just can't wait.
I got to. Okay, we've got Jeff 19 also says, thanks for all you do. Been a big fan of Rebel News since I discovered you a couple years ago. Go Pierre. Hope you are both doing great. Well, thanks so much.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks.
JP Power gives us $5 and says, Sheila and Lise twice in one day. Count me in. I know, count me in.
Oh, JP, it's so good to have you here. Thanks so much, guys. No, this is truly my pleasure, Sheila Gunn Reid.
Oh, I love it. As soon as I got the email from the Camrose Chamber of Commerce saying that Poilievre was going to attend the forum, I'm like, we got to do a live stream. We just have to.
Yeah. I could also do this for 7.5 more hours a day, but I'll spare you. I'll spare you that much of my face.
But you know, it is tough to have your butt in the chair for like 5 hours. It
really is. It is hard work. Yeah, it is. But the viewers make it easier. And thanks for being here with us.
And my co-host sure makes it easy because this is what we do. Like, our girl time together is we just sit around and roast politicians.
It's just a stream of consciousness that never stops. We wake up talking, we go to sleep talking, and we don't stop talking. And this is our area of expertise. So
I'll give people a little snippet. So Lise drives a Sprinter van, and I have like a micro camper girls getaway vehicle that I just acquired.
Yeah,
and we park them beside each other, and then she leaves her door open in her bed. And I leave my door open in my bed, and we just natter at each other about true crime and politics until we both fall asleep.
Yeah, sleep with the doors open. So we're in our own little unique, like shelters, but we sleep with the doors open. So as soon as one of us has a thought, all we have to do is whisper it, and the other person bounces awake, and we just keep the conversation going. So this is just such an extraordinary pleasure to be able to do this for you, Canada, and thanks for having us.
One of my favorite things in life is waking up and looking out my camper door and seeing just this big blonde angel just crushing heaters in her Sprinter van.
Got my mimosas first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
my French habits just on full display. Well, it's better. Absolutely nothing better than that.
Zero.
Canada. Yeah,
zero. Grant, we've got Open Road 12 gives us $13.99. Thank you so much. Responding to our call out for chats. Who do you think is winning? Who is your favorite? And Open Road says Grant Abraham all the way. Yeah, he's as I said, he's just leaving nothing in the tank. He's just, you know what? Shoot your shot. What did Wayne Gretzky say? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. He's taking them all.
Yeah. Open Road 12. I'm not going to give anything away, but that is an excellent comment. Excellent. Yes. Thank you.
BC Born 62 gives us $5. Grant is a big surprise. Was all for Pierre, but hearing him is refreshing. And you know what?
Agreed. Agreed.
Who's the Spady, that liberal guy? I just want to point out, he's got a lot of moxie for a party that took 11% in the vote. In that riding.
the Darcy Spady, he's the local Spady. He just talks about town names, just town names.
He just says town names. He just gives his family history. And I will spare all of you that. But I could do it because I keep my family historical books here in my office.
Girl, me too. I have them right on the side of my desk.
One is called Cherished Memories, and one is South of the North, Saskatchewan. And my family histories are there, and I'm proud to say that I still live on the same plot of land that my ancestors broke with their back and their hands. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be the local MP. And I don't think I would waste time at a local forum to talk about that stuff. Why? Because everybody knows I'm from here already.
Yeah. It talks about every small town, but then talks about being a Carney fangirl. And a fangirl of Canadian healthcare, which has
healthcare is great. It worked
everyone
for him.
You know.
He got both of his knees fixed.
And if he needs two more knees, his other knees, his elbows, if you will, if he needs his elbows replaced,
his arm knees.
His arm.
He needs his arm knees replaced from putting him up too much. I think that guy's
he wants that level of treatment across Canada, no matter where he travels. That's what he wants, Darcy Spade. He's his arm knees.
Yeah, and I should also, Catherine Swampy, again, she was right to point out that she's a sacrificial candidate in that riding.
Bound to lose.
The NDP got 3% of the vote.
Wow. Well, she's calling for bigger government. So is that a surprise?
Bigger government, more immigrants, but also shut up settler colonialists. So,
right. Yeah. I mean, the reason people don't vote for her there is just a mystery. It's just a complete mystery. Also, maybe we'll never know.
Bonnie Critchley just hits my ear wrong. I know that I am definitely not for everybody.
Right.
I want, there are people, I get the letters. I get the letters. I know. Some of you very viscerally don't like me. You don't like my hair. You don't like my tattoos. You don't like how I talk. That's okay. I'm not for everybody. Yeah. Bonnie Critchley is not for me. She could be for somebody, but she is not for me. There's something aggressively passive-aggressive about her.
She's pretty abrasive. She comes out the gate swinging hard, and I'm not sure if those swings are landing where she thinks they're going to land. I think that she is one of the former supporters of the Conservative Party of Canada who has been so disillusioned and so disappointed over the years, and especially by what happened with Damien Carrick stepping down, that she wants a pound of flesh out of the Conservative Party of Canada.
She said that he sold out, and he's sitting in the crowd.
Yeah. Like they're taking some pretty big swings at the Conservative Party of Canada. Yeah.
He's much loved in that riding. Damon Keurig is much loved in that riding. You don't walk in there and take a swing at him.
Yeah, it's pretty, she's being pretty vicious. Pretty vicious, we'll say. Aggressive.
I just feel like she's one of those women who drinks
Aggressively? Yeah.
whiskey straight and then wants to fight all the men in the bar. That's just, you know, the ones?
Yeah. Oh, I do know those ones.
Yeah.
I do know those ones. Yeah, it just
I
starts.
I know she's got practical shoes on. I just know she does. And look, I
With-
wear practical shoes. I love to let my toes spread, but I know that woman's got some real ugly shoes on.
Sheila, what kind of vehicle does Bonnie Critchley drive, if you had to guess?
Oh, a Subaru, 100%. 100%.
She have chickens? She has chickens at her house?
Yeah, backyard chickens and a Subaru. All right. Rocky Mountain Duke gives us $20. Look, I read your free chat. You didn't have to pay me, but your free chat was nice and complimentary, so I read it.
Oh, what did he say?
He said, got to send some support after that shout out. This debate is exposing these candidates. Swampy is pure cringe. Yes.
Yes.
She is, and I'll show you cringe in a second. You're going to want to crawl out of your skin because this stuff is from way back before I was with Rebel News. I dug this stuff up. I gave it to Dean and he published it because I was just dumping it on Twitter. And this is when Ezra said, you know that stuff that you're doing to these candidates? That's journalism. And I'm like, no, I'm just making trouble online.
So from that far, like that, because you guys are hearing Sheila's origin story as it pertains to getting into journalism and having a real voice in Canadian politics. She's actually telling you how this started. And so are we gonna look at some of that?
Let's look at this. Okay, so I put it here. It's on Dean Skorako's blog. You might know him on X as BC Blue. And so he just took the pictures that I was dumping online and he wrote them up in his blog. And it kind of went viral back in 2015. Like when I say she's been at this for 10 years and hasn't had any success, I'm telling you, she's been at this since 2015.
Yeah.
So this is just cringe level stuff. So this was Catherine Swampy, September 10th, 2015. So just right before Ezra was like, Sheila, your little excuse is in grade 1. You have to come to work now. Her husband, did you see where that was, Olivia? Up in the thread?
Catherine Swampy's husband?
Catherine Swampy's husband.
Okay.
Armand Swampy. She's the husband of NDP candidate.
Well, that's her married name. Okay.
Yeah, that's her married name. Do you see that?
I don't see anything. There we go. There we go.
Okay, so there's Catherine Swampy. This is NDP. This is federal. And she was running once again for the federal. And there's her husband pointing a gun.
What?
Brandishing a firearm. And it doesn't matter if it's fake or not.
What?
Does he have a license?
This is before politicians really learned that they had to keep their social media super clean if they were going to be.
I did that to them.
I think you've hypnotized them into complying. Yeah. Holy Hannah.
And then there's just like your general cringe hood rat stuff.
Catherine Swampy is from the streets, we can say. Huh.
Yeah, it's just
that's
like
interesting.
Hood rat stuff. And she, you know what? Maybe she left it all behind. And I hope she did, because apparently she's a mother now and an academic. But that was what was online. Oh yeah, the thug life stuff.
My. Catherine.
Yeah.
A menace on the streets and a menace in the sheets, it looks like.
And it's like, this is when the NDP selected her in 2015 to run in the Wetaskiwin riding. She didn't bother to even clean up the hood rat stuff off her Facebook. Anyways, that was some of my early journalism.
Well done, Sheila.
So like I said, when I know that Catherine Swampy's been around the block in politics, I'm telling you, I was on the same block taking pictures of what she was up to.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Oh, go back. So I have confirmation from a provincial jail guard that the tattoo on Armand Swampy's stomach is gang affiliated and it's called a family tattoo.
Okay.
maybe he's no longer in a gang. I hope he's no longer in a gang.
Well, let's talk about the crime stats of Catherine Swampy's home reserve. Like, what does her home reserve look like?
It's better now, but back then it was real bad. It's a lot better now. Anyway, I think we're all caught up on the. Oh no, I got another one. We'll do another chat and then we'll take a quick break.
Yeah.
And then we'll be right back. Super chat just came in. It's from Pleased Doge Cards.
Yeah.
Doge. $10. Can anyone on the stage explain how destroying the firearms industry in Canada is helping our country's small business growth and the Elbows Up Invest in Canada's business initiative? That's so true. Are we talking about the Calgary-based firearms company that had a firearm that was created to specifically to comply with the Liberal laws? Just banned. Just business destroyed overnight. Everybody who bought one criminalized.
Please, Doge Cards, we may hear an answer to that question coming up, because what we've been touching on is the economy. We've touched on, are we back?
We're back, but we're gonna shuffle. Can you take us off screen just for a real quick question?
Yeah. We'll be back in 2 minutes, all of us.
We're gonna be at the top. You won't see us, but we'll be on. Let's go back to this lady, Shauna.
You can or choose not to respond, but obviously we're not having that issue at all as we go forward. So the next question, we start with you, Ashley. Government accountability and democracy. So serious concerns have been raised regarding the fairness and effectiveness of Canada's electoral system. What is your position on electoral reform, and do you support transitioning away from the current first-past-the-post model? If so, what alternative system would you advocate for?
So yes, I absolutely do believe we should move away from the first past the post system. It's been a part of the Green Party platform for decades now, I would say. For me personally, I've ran in a few elections. Everybody, like let's say everybody in this room, like if you're a representative of this riding, Damien got what, 84, 85%? So there's about 16% didn't vote for the Conservatives. Yeah, it's an amazing thing to get that many votes, but those 16% of you that didn't vote for him were ignored. You have no say for the next upwards of 4 years. So I believe we do need to reform the system so that people's votes actually matter. As for the type of system that I would implement, that would have to be studied, analyzed, look to see what the most fair and comprehensive system is so that everybody's vote can count as much as possible. We don't want to leave anybody out of the democratic process so they feel that their voice is ignored and people stop it.
Thank you, Ashley. Pierre.
Well, first of all, this longest ballot thing is a total scam and it must be stopped. I'm the only leader that this interest group seems to have targeted for some reason, and that I find interesting, but it is a total scam and there is no good public interest reason to do it. I think anybody should be allowed to run, but they should have to get unique signatures and they should have a unique financial agent. If you did that, you'd guarantee this would never happen again. God willing, if I have your support, and I get to Parliament, I will put forward legislative changes to make sure that this never happens again anywhere in Canada. And speaking of accountability, we need to build on Stephen Harper's Accountability Act to crack down on the loopholes that Liberals, including Mark Carney, have exploited. We need to ensure that our leaders are working for you and not for their private profit. Thank you.
Thank you, Pierre. Darcy.
My comments are similar on the longest ballot. I think it's been quite problematic, and I think especially people who have difficulty initially when the ballot was going to be very long in physical length would be just difficulty handling it. And now that it's different, it's going to be a pain, and it confuses everything, and I do not think it has a place, but it is put together as part of our system. So I will just say I don't like it, and I would like that I think we should try and change it. As far as being a Canadian, and as far as our system and the workability in the world, I had the privilege as international president of the Society of Petroleum Engineers of traveling in that term of 3 years to 49 different countries. And my pride grew with every country because there are so many places that have systems that don't work, systems that are corrupt. So I stand here as a proud Canadian, and I'm proud of our Prime Minister, and I'm proud of our system, and it works generally, and I would love to...
He's getting booed. He's getting booed.
Thank you, Darcy. Sarah.
I have said many times that I think healthy protest is a good idea, but the way the longest ballot is going about it is not okay. You know, they've kind of hindered us here. And I do agree that we should have electoral reform, and I do agree with Ashley when saying that it is something that needs to be studied. It is something that we need to ensure that everybody is getting
we know what happened.
They feel like their voice is heard. And it's unfortunate that this is where we're at, but we're Albertans, we're tough. We can get over this. We can write a name. Nobody thinks we can, and I know we can. So please go find the name that you want. Please write it down. My last name is spelled Spanier. Thank you.
Okay, that was clever, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Catherine.
Electoral reform is exactly what the longest ballot wanted. So the fact that everybody here is talking about electoral reform means that their form of protest is in fact working. They actually didn't just start neither. They were doing this since 2021. So it's interesting, and they are targeting Pierre because he's, sorry, but almost a circus. Look at the stuff going on around him. They know it's going to cause an uprising, and they want people to speak out about it. So if that's what they're looking for, is that attention, that's exactly what you're giving them. So electoral reform, having that happen, shh. You're giving them what they want.
3% of the vote.
Thank you, Catherine.
3%. Okay.
Jeff.
Thank you. I misspoke earlier. I said there was a bill discussed in Parliament about proportional representation. Actually, it was a motion to talk about proportional representation, not a bill on the subject. And again, all but 3 Tory MPs and the Liberals voted against it. So first past the post works for the major parties, because of course they benefit from the system. They're not interested in looking at alternatives. If we had if we had proportional representation in this country, and a small party like the Christian Heritage Party ran 343 candidates across the country and got, say, 2% of the vote, we'd have 2% of the seats, and we'd have a voice in Parliament. You who care about the social issues that we are concerned about, and other issues, would have a voice in Parliament. And I think it would be a fine thing. And I am ashamed of the Tories and others who voted against it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Grant.
We need electoral reform. We need to tidy up the system, but the reality is in Western Canada, even if we had the tightest voting system in the world, we have to recognize that Western Canada was set up as a colony of a colony. The disproportionality of senators and/or MP seats in this country, the way it was set up from 1867 forward through 1905, the establishment of Alberta and most of the Western provinces, has been to have us pay to make that system work, and neutralized by the imbalance in the electoral system. So we can talk about voting and ballots and making sure that Elections Canada reforms or at least does a review with vital statistics, so there's no voting cards going into old folks' homes, whatever. But we have to recognize that that isn't changing the constitutional lockdown of Western Canada, and you're going to continue to pay.
Thank you, Grant. Jonathan.
I think electoral reform is long overdue in this country. Proportional representation might be a very good option. We'll have to study that a lot more. Sorry, I had a thought.
This is not the first time one just
There's a lot of pressure being up here
brain.
sometimes, and you get thinking and then you talk about something else and forget it. But what it comes down to is we tend to see in a lot of ridings where people get 35% of the vote and they become the representative. So what happens to that other 65% of people in that area? I also see a lot of gatekeeping from the administration of a constituency office. People send in emails and they never get a reply back. I don't think that all of the MPs are trying not to skirt around people, but I do believe that MPs need to make sure that all the questions that come into them do get addressed.
Thank you, Jonathan. Bonnie.
So once again, I noticed Monsieur Poilievre skirted the question. There, he said nothing on electoral reform and was angry at the longest ballot. Granted, we all are angry at the longest ballot, yeah? Yeah, I thought so. But no, it benefits, our current system benefits the two big parties. I very much want to see electoral reform. I am currently looking into proportional representation. I am emailing people. It is not on my platform as of yet because I don't know the ins and outs. We need it. You're not going to give it to us. Liberals aren't going to give it to us. We need it.
Thank you, Bonnie. Michael.
First of all, I would like to point out a previous comment on the last panel that we had that Ashley admitted that healthcare workers would get paid more under a private system than our public system, so I just want to point that out.
Right. Yeah,
number
funny.
two, I refuse to give any more attention to the longest ballot people because honestly, they're doing this for attention. This isn't a protest. They're asking for attention. If anybody knows any of those names on those ballots, I recognize for them. They're being supported by the Rhino Party of Canada. They're a joke. This isn't a protest. And in my opinion, for electoral reform, the Liberal government has been promising for over 10 years that they were going to offer us electoral reform and remove the first past the post system. I don't know where that's going. We're still stuck with it. And in my opinion, we need to focus and push towards a ranked ballot system. And that would be what I'd be fighting for. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. So this next question will start with you, Pierre. It's around agriculture and rural development. So how will you support farmers and rural communities in adapting to the growing impacts of climate change, such as droughts, wildfires, and extreme weather, while also promoting sustainable agricultural practices, rural infrastructure, and rural economic development?
This is not a farmer question.
Well, there's a lot in that
like
question. Let's start with infrastructure. And I was very pleased to
meet
with the special areas, oriented special areas representatives who are working on getting a direct train route that would allow produce to go through Camrose straight to the west coast rather than having to go all the way east to Saskatoon. Right now, farmers from the area have to add 600 kilometers of extra transit in the wrong direction in order to get to the west coast and ship to world markets. And I will hope to work with the region to try and get that short line track completed. I know that Damien has done great work on it. But we also need to do other things. We need to get rid of the Liberal regulations that are cracking down on our farmers, get rid of the industrial carbon tax that's driving up the cost of fertilizer in this country. We need to respect the firearms rights of our farmers and allow them to use.
Okay, we heard a little bit about firearms there, so.
Thank you, Pierre. Darcy.
A word.
Darcy.
Okay, let's go, Darcy. Local lib.
Speaking of fertilizer, I dream of the day when fertilizer will be less than $1,200 a ton and canola will be more than $700 a ton. In fact, I'd like to switch them. My canola is going in the bin in the fall, Lord willing. I think it's looking good right now, and I want to make sure that when it hits the bin, that I get the best world price that I can. When I grew up, Dad had a wheat board ticket that we took every time we took a load of grain to the elevator.
Lord,
and Canada was known as a global superpower in cereals. We want to be back in a strong economy as a country where we can trade side to side and abroad and have strong leadership.
Supply management.
Like the way
he wants
things
supply
are
management.
moving with Prime Minister Carney talking about being the most growing economy in the G7.
Exactly.
These are important to me as farmers. Clearly we don't have farmers in the audience because they're booing about getting our product to market. I think it's time we have pipelines that sell our oil and gas and solid trading practices around the globe.
Thank you, Darcy. Sarah.
Yeah, good.
Still getting booed.
Economic development is exactly where an independent can help you guys. And like I said, you guys are my bosses here. I can go and I can take that funding, I can bring it back, and that funding is already in the budget. I don't want anybody to think I'm here wanting to raise taxes or anything.
What is she talking about?
But we have the funding, we have the means, we have the people here in order to work on rural economic development. And you know, I kind of want you guys to be selfish here for a second. Think about
more funding,
put yourself
more
first,
programs,
and then Canada. We can build up Battle River Crowfoot first, and then we can help build up the rest of Canada. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Catherine.
So before I get into agriculture, Ian would probably kill me if I didn't mention part of the electoral reform as sortition. So I'll leave it at that. You guys can look that up as an option. For agriculture, many of the farmers that I've gone out to speak to, they're not looking to be at a forum, and they're not looking to come out and speak. Most of them born and raised conservative. There's no changing that. They're going to be the way they are. But they did let me know some of the areas that they needed help.
Good. She got it.
They're lacking in hands working on their farms. They're all coming together and working together.
Slave labor.
And they're aging, and they need people to come and help them. Immigration
Catherine,
could help.
Quit taxing us.
Trump's getting rid of all his people working on his agriculture. We'll take them, send them our way. We'll put them in our farms. They can help us.
No, we don't want
Oh
that.
my God. She wants like communal work farms.
Thank you, Catherine. Jeff.
Farming is everybody's bread and butter. That is about as much I know about the subject, but personally. But carbon taxes drive up the cost of everything, including farming practices and so on, and the price of food. And the Tories were happy with $30 a ton on a carbon tax. So, whereas the Liberals were recommending, or the NDP was recommending 50. The Liberals said they wouldn't go past that, but of course they went past it like it was standing still. But we need to, and another thing is the price of not just carbon, but nitrogen in the fertilizer. They're trying to restrict farmers, Liberals or governments are trying to restrict farmers' ability to grow crops, et cetera, et cetera. And all this needs to change. We need to eliminate, not just reduce carbon taxes to $30 a ton like the Liberals have, like.
No, it is true. That Liberal said, oh, I wish fertilizer wasn't so expensive. Your guy wants to
Well,
tax
this is
nitrogen.
a great conversation. Right. You know what? We need to look at farmers in China and the tariffs that we're paying for canola and get those stripped down.
But there why? We go.
Oh, no.
Oh, what? No, not during Grant.
Not during Grant.
Not out of all
we have
of
to
the
get
people.
That back. I hope we get that back, and I hope that we can get it on delay, because I want to hear everything that Grant Abraham has to say, because he is literally the only person talking about canola tariffs. That's canola country, and we are dealing with 100% tariffs thanks to the Liberals' protectionist policies on Chinese electric vehicles to help the people in Quebec and Ontario and their heavily subsidized auto industry.
Exactly.
He's the only guy who brought it up. We
had to suffer through Catherine Swampy telling us how communal farms, like they had in communist times, is going to work the best for agriculture producers in Alberta. We had to suffer through that. Okay, Canada, that was hard, but we really want to hear Grant Abraham. We really want to hear Grant. It's really too bad that we had that technical difficulty, but bear with us, Canada. This is but a blip on our radar. We'll just keep going through it. Yep, we're just
okay. We're
keep
good.
Going through
CO2
Did we lose that? Can we go back and get Graham?
In fact, it's a lot ridiculous.
Oh, it looks like they're moving on.
CO2 is required for plant
life.
Oh,
it would. Okay, we had to switch feeds.
We missed.
So if we're going to tax it to the death, we're going to have less plants growing instead of more. We have greenhouses that have to pay carbon tax because they put CO2 in there to make the tomatoes bigger. That carbon never gets outside of that plant except for inside of a tomato, but yet they have to pay taxes on it. The People's Party of Canada and I would see taxes reduced severely so that farmers have more money to put back into their farm and make it better.
Thank you, Jonathan. Bonnie.
When I was running around, knocking on doors, did one quick tour of the riding, and then I'm taking my time going around again. One of the things that came up was agricultural innovation. Our successive federal governments, both parties, have sold off our innovation to big corporations. These corporations now charge our farmers royalties for seed, or they will sue your neighbor if your seed blows over into his field. This has got to stop. I intend to fully stand up for my neighbors. And if you tell me that agricultural innovation is the private member's bill you want me to put forward, that's what I will do. Because this has to come back to you so you can continue to feed the entire country, because they seem to have forgotten that fact.
Bonnie,
thank you, Bonnie.
Egg cartel.
Michael.
Quick question. Do we have any history buffs in this room right now? Does anybody know anything about the Gauss plan by any chance in the Soviet Union? It was a plan of centralized economy that was regulating the Soviet Union. And we have our very own Gauss plan here in Canada called supply management. Ooh. And it is limiting the amount of produce of milk, poultry, eggs, all of that, all of the above, every single month. And if you go over that quota, well, it's got to go in the garbage. I've been going around talking to a lot of farmers in Drumheller, Acme, and Three Hills, where they have to dump hundreds of liters of milk every single month because of this policy. I'm the only candidate that's on this stage saying that we need to end the policy of supply management now, not later. We need to end it now. Thank you.
Jonathan Bridges.
I'm listening.
Thank you, Michael. Ashley.
The dairy farmer yell at him.
Okay.
He doesn't even, is he still
So the
awake?
Green Party of Canada platform effectively states that, and as we all know, Canadians need good, healthy, nutritious food that isn't absurdly expensive, that makes it to the point that we can't feed our families. We have to choose which meals, who gets what meal, and what meal we have to skip, and so on. You know, the Green Plan is to strengthen agriculture and food security, and that is built on the idea that we must strengthen and increase local and regional food production. We need to give, you know, Bonnie touched on it with big corporations buying up large tracts of land. For me, family farms need to actually be run by families, not by a family that runs a corporation and that can claim that it's a family farm and get all these tax breaks and then screw over the small farmers.
What if you're
We need an actual system that serves the people, not these big corporations.
Like
we need to create regional food hubs that can better supply the people of this country.
Thank you, Ashley.
He's not
so
even
this
awake.
will be our
What
final
is he even doing up
question
there?
of the evening. And Darcy, we're going to start with you. So around education and workforce development. Student loans are a giant financial burden to young Canadians, but education is required for even basic jobs. Given restrictions on international students and a lack of university funding, how will you ensure Canadians can access affordable, top-tier educations without drowning in debt?
What do you mean a lack of university funding,
We do have one
to
of the
be
best
honest?
educational systems on earth, and I'm very proud of it, and I'm very proud to be a rural student of that educational system. A ragtag bunch of us would leave Three Hills Sunday night and head up to U of A, and we'd generally regroup at the end of the week and head back to Three Hills. There wasn't much support from us, and I think we've seen some tremendous movements over the last number of years. I think we need a federal government that supports education across the board. We need to support our institutions, even though I realize that in cases it's a provincial jurisdiction. We need to support skilled trades. With the Build Canada program, we need more tradespeople. We need competent tradespeople to be operators on oil and gas wells. We need to be educated at every level. And we have the best system. We need to keep and maintain the best system. Summer job programs, a federal responsibility. That has to keep going. So I think
except if you're Christian. Thank you. Thank you, Darcy.
Thank you, Sarah.
Saved by the bell.
We all know education is a provincial issue, but that doesn't mean that the federal government can't step in and do something. We know that Alberta education is kind of lacking a little bit compared to other provinces, but we can still pick that up, you know, and I believe that that
Alberta
would involve having
top of the pack
more
all the time.
like, post-secondary institutions in rural
Because of our
areas so more
diverse
people
system.
can access these type of things. And, you know, we can run more programs and to get people certificates that they need. We can kind of focus on some type of different repayment program for student loans that doesn't exactly hinder and kind of suffocate you. You should be rewarded for getting an education, not being stuck in debt for years and years after. And I think it's time that we just kind of revamp the whole system. And I think that there should be some type of federal accountability in that as well. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
I don't know.
Sarah.
She said a lot on that
Catherine.
one.
So shout out to University of Alberta right here. I'm very, very educated. Over-educated.
You don't say. Over-educated.
I don't know if there's a job out there that really needs all this education.
So much
but I
smarter
had
than
a
us,
point
you
to
guys.
prove, and I proved it, I
embarrassing.
guess, that I can make myself crazy. Anyways, with education, I feel like there are different obstacles in place for people that want to go to school, whether it be location, the amount of admitting students into the schools. There are 3 very well-off areas in this riding: Camrose, Three Hills, and Drumheller. And I'll say it's due to the post-secondary institutions that they house. It creates economic activity in the area. I think we need more.
I can't believe she said all of that.
I agree that we need more education, but if you have spent the last 4 years getting a degree in gender studies, I'm not responsible for that. Sorry, that's on you.
Yes! Yes!
Thank you. I don't know, not you. I'm not saying you personally, Catherine. Anyone, but
anyone.
Don't take me wrong. Anyways,
Not just you.
Yeah, education is important. I have a high school education. And I sell a book that I wrote, and the guy says, "What education do you have as high school?" I say that my pristine mind has not been polluted by our post-secondary institutions.
Ooh, nice.
Anyhow, it's my
nice.
I'm glad somebody appreciates that. But education is important. It's a shame that a person has to have a degree now to get a job in a factory in Winnipeg where they make cardboard boxes, but that is the reality today. A university degree has become what used to be a high school education. That has to change, and we need more training in the trades and so on and so on.
Thank you, Jeff. Grant.
Well, with regard to education, I think we need to look closely at what our universities are doing in terms of funding themselves with foreign students. It's contributing to the immigration problem, and we're not exactly even sure what happens after the educational visa requires. So it's intertwined. We need to get our country's tertiary, second and third level institutions back to actually the job creation that we need to develop the infrastructure that we have offshored in these last 40 years in terms of a globalist agenda for this nation. And we start building things, making things, smelting things, again, we will actually be the wealth, create the wealth that our parents and our grandparents knew. And I think the other thing that we need to do is once we stop that budget of income for all of the immigration issues that are feeding our institutions, then we can actually say, what is the plan? And we need to purge out this DEI woke agenda that's feeding.
Oh, perfect.
Thank you, Grant. Jonathan.
I'd like to challenge the premise of the question. Do you actually need a university degree to get a good job?
Thank you.
As a mechanic, I had a high school education. I went into an apprenticeship.
Good
4
for
years
you.
later, I was making very good money. And I had no student debt to pay off.
Perfect.
We have student counselors that are straight up lying to students, telling them that they have to go to university to make anything of themselves.
True.
And then they end up with hundreds of thousands of dollars of student debt that they can't pay back because they're getting a job that only pays sometimes 50, 70% of what I make as a mechanic. It just doesn't make sense. We need to educate people on finance and how money actually works in junior high and high school so that they can go out and make better decisions.
Thank you, Jonathan.
As the
Bonnie.
mother of a pipe fitter, I agree.
Well, as Ms. Spanier mentioned, education is a provincial responsibility. I would like to see more barriers to students getting into trades, and I would like to see our trades go smoother as you move province to province. However, the one thing that I can touch as an independent in a minority government, I can start funneling the federal student work experience program back where it should be. This is what I have been told as I toured by various assorted town councilors and municipalities is our students, our youth don't have jobs. We need to have this work experience program, and we need to have these funds back into our community to give our youth the experience they need for the future.
Thank you,
It's a federal program.
First of all, I'd like to give a shout out to the University of Calgary and my fellow students that are watching this live stream. First of all, I just want to say, do not be fooled. The issues that we are facing in this province due to education are completely the result of our premier and the provincial government here in Alberta. We need to see more support for students. As a member and student of the University of Calgary, I see a lot of corruption in our student boards, for our teachers and our professors, where they are taking massive bonuses every single year, which almost doubles their income, while students are struggling to get by and to be able to pay for their education. All the while, we have a government that is disavowing the ability for people to homeschool, for people to be able to learn their trades. And as Johnny was saying, we're pushing people that to get a good job, you have to go to university, when that is not true. Good paying jobs in this province are from trade jobs, not from university jobs. Let's get more people into trade jobs, please. Thank you.
Amen, brother.
Thank you, Michael.
Not
Ashley.
bad at all, Michael. Oh, here comes Ashley.
Okay. So, for the
People
Green
are
Party,
laughing.
post-secondary education and the proper investment of the proper structuring of the programs is very important. We need to look at the jobs of the future, not the jobs of the past. We need to be training people, educating people to meet the demands of the future. I know that people denigrate a gender studies degree, a history degree, woke culture, commie dictators running the student unions, blah, blah, blah. But people go there for an education. They don't go there to get a massive debt. Like when I left university in
But they don't get an education
2005,
and they get massive
I had
debt.
$40,000 in debt. Took me so long to pay that down, never even to actually finish paying it off. To be honest, it took so long that the amortization period lapsed and the federal government seized it, and it sits as a debt today that I still can pay off. But people are getting even more and more and more in debt for degrees that they can't actually use in the job.
Okay, Ashley.
Thank you, Ashley. Pierre.
Bluntly speaking, this generation of youth has been totally screwed like never before.
Buddy. Generation screwed.
Start with their wages. The government's bringing in unprecedented numbers of low-wage temporary foreign workers, taking away the retail, accommodation, restaurant jobs that normally paid the tuition of our youth. That has to stop. We have to cut back on that. Secondly, our universities are not equipping people with the right skills. I got a university education, U of C, it was great. But I'll tell you what we need is more emphasis on the trades. We need more of the people who can make stuff, move stuff, fix stuff, and move stuff. And we need to shift more of our resources to making it possible for our young people to sign on to the trades. And finally, we need to remove the red tape and the taxes to build homes that our young people can actually afford so that when they graduate with student debt, they can still afford to buy a home and start a family and build a Canadian.
Thank you, Pierre. So now I would like to say thank you to all of the candidates and the audience for that engaging question period. So now we're going to go to 2-minute closing remarks, and we're going to go in reverse speaking order. So I would like to invite the candidates again to provide a 2-minute closing statement, and we'll start with you, Jeff.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in my opening statement, I explained how the Tories and Liberals have been working together for decades to bring us to our current state of affairs. This, of course, includes society's embrace of the culture of death, in which we abort our future, indoctrinate and sexually mutilate our youth, and euthanize our past. Now, many of you will be familiar with the parable of the Good Samaritan. In it, there's a wounded man in a ditch who had an unfortunate encounter with some robbers, and the upstanding religious people of his day walked right by him. Thankfully for him, a Samaritan with a functioning conscience stopped and gave him some help. Now, that man in the ditch today isn't a man. He's a boy who's had it drilled into his head since his first day of school that he might be a girl, or maybe he's one of the 2,000 young girls in this country who've had their breasts removed after years of said indoctrination. Or maybe he's the little old lady sitting alone in a hospital bed, hoping the doctor who just walked into the room with a needle in his hand isn't there to prematurely send her to her final reward. Well, folks, those are the people in that ditch today. And you have an opportunity to be that Good Samaritan for all of them by sending the first Christian Heritage Party Member of Parliament to Ottawa. If you do, it will awaken millions of Canadians to the existence of the CHP.
Wow.
Some good pro-life Tory MPs will probably cross the floor to it, and God willing, will run a full slate of candidates in the next general election, making that election a de facto referendum on these and many other issues on which you until now had no say. The choice is yours. My name is Jeff Willerton. It's an honor to represent the Christian Heritage Party of Canada and be able to offer you not a slight deviation in policy, but a 180-degree change of course on these many and serious issues. And when you're on the wrong road, moving in the wrong direction, it's precisely what you need. And thus I believe that the party that I represent is exactly what the doctor ordered, and I ask for your vote. Thank you and God bless.
Look at Catherine Swampy's body language.
Catherine.
She is sucking lemons.
Thank you all so much for coming out and showing us your very, very enthusiastic behaviors, both for and against. You know, it lets us know we do live in a democracy. We're not in some kind of crazy authoritarian regime. We are allowed to have different viewpoints, and although we might not always agree on everything, from the NDP. I think everybody here has the mindset that we want to make things better. I didn't hear anybody saying anything about making things, well, I don't know, making things worse. And I just want to bring a voice of reason to the table. Again, I understand this is a losing run for me, and that's fine. I've been doing this for 10 years, right, Sorensen? Yes, but I'll still be here. I'll still be here advocating for issues, again, that are otherwise ignored by the government. I'm here to fight. I'm here to advocate. In my last run, I will say I was lucky enough to have a number of things brought forward to the Liberal platform. They stole from my platform right here in Battle River Crowfoot, like an inquiry on missing and murdered Indigenous women. They actually did that. Like
was
the
your
clean
idea,
drinking
Catherine?
water, they actually moved forward. Not that successful, but they did move forward on that. And the navigable waters protection, you know, we were able to reverse some of the lost protections there. So even though I lost, I still won. I still got things to the table, and I still got things successfully moved forward. So I'm looking forward to doing that again in this run. I'll be here to meet you all again. I'm not trying to sway you, I get it, but bring your issues to me and I'll bring them to the forefront. Thank you.
Do you think she's behind the missing and murdered Indigenous women inquiry?
If it weren't for Catherine Swampy,
there's nothing she can't do.
Here, this has been absolutely amazing. This is my first time, so this has been really fun. I enjoyed this, but being independent, you know, I get it. It's scary. You make a choice for an independent. You are taking a risk, but I have shown up and I can show that I can listen and I can show that I can be here for you. You know, I have had people just berate me online, berate me at the door. That's fine. It's okay. I'm still going to sit here and show up for you guys. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to listen. And you guys, with an independent, you guys have a shot at deciding how Canada goes forward. You know, this riding could be the determining factor for what passes bills and what doesn't. This vote and your guys' leverage and your guys' voice is more important now than ever before. And that's something that somebody in a party is not going to be able to do for you. I am somebody who is here for you. I've said it before, you guys are my boss, nobody else. There's no middleman here. And I want to fight for you guys. I can sit there, I can pull numbers, I can pull funding, I can show you guys on paper where the numbers are, what I can do for you guys. And I really hope that over these next 3 weeks that you guys can listen and we can engage, and I am more than happy to listen to you guys. And when it comes down to it, I really just want to help you guys because I have experienced that same hospitality from many people in this riding, and I would like to return that favor. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Darcy.
Darcy. Let's see how much.
Thank you again to the organizers. Thank you, the fellow local Liberal participants. It's been eye-opening for me. 11%. I'm a bit of a neophyte in politics. My name is Darcy Spady. I'm from Three Hills, and I do not want to be Prime Minister.
We know.
I would actually really like to represent you in Ottawa on the government benches as a member of Parliament. I've had the privilege in my technical career of testifying before common subcommittees.
Is bad. If you have any friends, relatives, family.
Oh, did we lose the feed? Did it just bump ahead?
A little bit.
Maybe,
Darcy,
maybe the guys can find a different feed where we can go back on, because I don't wanted to find out if the Green Party guy was still awake when we got to him. We didn't get to hear Poilievre, and I think that
I want to hear
Grant Abraham.
Grant Abraham at the very end. He's gonna have a swish bang last moment. Oh,
what we got on the live stream as well. Thank you for coming back after that break. And just for anyone who's not aware, the live stream will also be available for 48 hours. So if you have any friends, relatives, family, neighbors.
Okay, we still missed it. So missed a bit. We skipped ahead, and we
missed 1, 2, 3, 4.
We missed
more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah,
7 candidates. The closing statements. Yeah,
Bonnie Crotchety.
We missed Pierre Poilievre's closing statements. We missed Ashley McDonald, Bonnie Critchley, Jonathan.
Okay, we're back. Efren and Olivia found it. We're going to listen to Darcy Spady.
To Italy for pasta. Why don't we do it right here in Battle River Crowfoot? Why don't we build and broaden our infrastructure system, both highways and pipelines, to move oil and gas equipment north and south? We are the best, and I would love to be your local representative in government in Ottawa on August 18th. Please vote Darcy Spady.
I thought he was going to say he didn't want to be Prime Minister again.
Yeah. Thank you, Darcy.
No, you're not going to be.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you to all the candidates on the stage. I think it's been a great debate. What do you think? A great conversation. And it's not even over yet. And I want to thank all of you. And most importantly, in addition to the great Damien Couric, who's mentoring me and teaching me every day things I didn't know. He tells me, I'm not a farmer, but he tells me if I were that I'd be outstanding in my field. And his mentor, Kevin Sorensen, my longstanding friend who served you. You've had great representation here. And thank you to all the people of Battle River Crowfoot. I want to tell you it's been a privilege to get to know you better. And I have to say, it's been a lot of fun. It's been great fun to be on the ranches and the farms, to be out at the rodeos and the bronc matches, and even to whirl around a little bit in Riley on the four-wheeler. I might still get a ticket at some point for that. But, my mission here is to give national leadership to the issues that are of local importance. For example, reversing that EV mandate to allow you to drive your truck, that is a local issue.
Cool. Bring up.
And it will take national leadership to overturn it the way I overturned the carbon tax. Your right to protect and keep your firearms. That is a local issue if you're a hunter in Empress or Trochu or Consort. Cutting taxes, or for example, letting our farmers have zero capital gains when they reinvest the proceeds in our communities. That is a local issue. Reforming our prisons so that our guards down in Drumheller are safe. That's a local issue, but it requires national leadership. Fighting against the Chinese tariffs on our canola, that is a local issue. These local issues require strong national leadership, and it would be the privilege of my life to provide both the local representation and the national leadership to the community.
Thank you, Pierre. Ashley.
Go back to
Okay,
Carlton.
thank you for that.
Hecklers.
All right, Ashley.
All right, well, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. I think we all know this is Pierre's riding to lose here. He's definitely going to win. So
They're all
please
broken.
take a chance. Vote your conscience. Don't be swayed by fear of, a Liberal MP from your area or an NDP MP for your area or an independent or so on. Vote your conscience. Vote however you want to vote. My name is Ashley McDonald, like the restaurant, like I said earlier, so it's easy to remember.
But not really.
I'm sure
It's
they'll
different.
accept an MC instead of an MAC.
So different.
Yeah.
But, a lot's been said about how the benefits of an independent MP from this riding would be, not swayed, not whipped by a party. The Green Party is one of those federal parties that are an unwhipped party. So you could elect a Green MP in any riding across this country, and they will be able to vote their conscience, vote how they feel, and not be told by central authority and what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to vote. So your vote is safe when given to a Green MP. They're not going to be swayed by some special interest somewhere. So keep that in mind. Feel free to protest in my favor, Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight again. Thank you for the Chamber for having this. And thank you for, well, actually, I would like to say I'm a little disappointed in Pierre. I tried to get everybody to do a drinking game backstage where we would all take a drink of water when he said woke, and he's not once said it. So it's really kind of disappointing to me. I was really looking forward to this. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, that was fun.
Thank you, Ashley. Michael.
I'd first of all like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for inviting me out to this debate. There's not too many times that libertarians are invited to these type of things, but when we do get invited, we come swinging like a hammer, as I always like to say.
Yeah.
And I've been out here, if you guys
That
don't
is
know
true.
me, my name is Michael Harris. I've been out here since May knocking on doors. I've knocked on a couple thousand doors on this ride, and I've been hearing the issues of this ride. And people might be disagreeing with me. People might not be even wanting even to vote for me. But at the end of the day, I want to hear the issues of every single person in this riding so I can best represent you. Now, if you believe that the government and the Uni Party has taken advantage of you, has taken every cent out of your pocket, and that you feel that you can't get by day to day, and if you want to see lower taxes, lower regulation, an end to supply management, an end to equalization, and the right to self-determination here in Alberta, then I ask that you support me, Michael Harris, Libertarian, for liberty, family, and independence. Thank you.
I do.
Thank you,
Good
Michael.
for the Chamber
Bonnie.
for letting all these people on the stage.
Yep. This is a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ladies and
here
gentlemen,
comes
my name is
Bonnie.
Bonnie Critchley. I just want to
Crotchety.
thank the Chamber of Commerce, our moderator, all the candidates for coming out and stepping up, and all of you folks for at least coming out and making some noise. What I would like to say is that this is our home, this is our riding, and while we're sitting back in the back, I believe it was Jonathan and Darcy and I were discussing a certain old folks' home that we all know, because we live here. Out of curiosity, who here can vote? Yeah, that's kind of my point. We live here. This is our home. And we sure as heck don't want to be doing this again in January now, do we?
What does that mean?
So I have no personal aspirations. I'll say it again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't want to do this. I was enjoying my retirement from the military. But it is important to me that we have a voice in Parliament.
I get that vibe.
I firmly believe that Monsieur Poilievre is too busy with his own personal ambitions to give a rat's backside about us. And with him facing leadership review in January,
Oh.
Are we doing this again in February?
Oh.
So, my name is Bonnie
That's what she
Critchley.
means.
I am not here for any personal aspirations. I am here for you. I am here for my neighbors. I am here for all of our communities. Together, we can make our mark on the map, and we can stand up for ourselves.
Thank you, Bonnie. Jonathan.
Okay.
I'm interested in what Jonathan
Thank
has to
you
say.
to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event. Thank you to Camrose for coming out to see it, and the rest of Battle River Crowfoot for tuning in. With the People's Party, we do not have a party whip either, so your voice would be heard by myself and taken to Ottawa, and I would vote according to what my conscience is and according to what what my constituents ask me to do. So many things go through my head. Sorry. As you might tell, I'm not someone who has prepared a bunch of speeches in my life. I've been working as a mechanic all of my life since I got out of high school. But I do believe that I can resonate very well with most of the people in this area, if not all of you. I can find common ground. I would absolutely love to take your voice to Ottawa and represent you with accountability and openness. So, sorry, I can't think of anything else to say at the moment, so I'll just end with this. I think it's time to put a commoner in the House of Commons.
Oh, beautiful last line.
Yeah, way to
Beautiful.
Good for him. It's tough to public speak. I'm
my
not
name is
good at
Grant
it.
Abraham. I'm the leader of the United Party of Canada. We ran candidates across this country, and I'll tell you this, there's Canadians all across this country like you who know that this country is broken and that we're not being told the truth about what's actually going on in our nation. We don't understand what our national debt is. We just had a throne speech that has approved our country operating without a budget. The Conservatives contributed that by not opposing it. I'm fed up with this discussion in our nation where we don't actually know where we are. And here's the thing that we really need to look at. Justin Trudeau told us that we would be a post-nation state. That means a state controlled by something other than what we elect. He told us that COVID would provide us with a reset. We understand that we're overrun by foreign interference. And in the last 3 leadership races and 3 federal elections, when have you heard a Conservative MP say, excuse me, Mr. Trudeau, or excuse me, Mr. Carney, can you tell us what you mean by post-nationalism or what you mean by a reset? We are losing our country. Canadians across this country ask me, what has happened to our country? Where has our country gone? And my commitment to you is to answer that question, to tell you the truth. Because what you're getting here is a bunch of narrative about symptoms without looking at the real problems in our nation, the real root issues. And it troubles me, actually, that we have to actually break this down in a debate like this because people aren't thinking. And so I'll tell you what, for this country to actually move forward, we have to look at what's happening. The Liberal government is betraying this nation, and the Conservative Party has continued to enable it by omission. I'm going to tell you the truth, and we're going to start with fixing Alberta and setting it up.
Thank you, Grant.
Where are these hecklers?
I wish I could hear.
Thank you, Grant. So first, I would really like to thank all of the candidates for participating in this forum. It takes a lot.
Okay, so that's just us catching up because we had a bump ahead in the feed and then all of a sudden it was over, and we wanted to make sure that you saw everybody's closing statements. Now, our Efron, who just works so darn hard, he was able to dig up that clip of Grant Abraham on the canola tariffs. Oh, bless you, Lise.
Sorry.
He was able to bring up, remember when we lost the feed and we had to find where the feed might be somewhere else, and Grant Abraham was finally being the first guy to mention the canola tariffs and the EV mandates. And we just knew it was going to be a banger. Let's watch that. Efron clipped it for us because we didn't get a chance to watch it live.
We need to look at farmers in China and the tariffs that we're paying for canola and get those stripped down. We have a leader of a political party here to my left who will not attain his clearance, security clearance. Hey, that's the truth. He won't attain his security clearance to actually tell you who the 11 MPs were that you were put in front of to vote.
You're going to get crucified there, buddy.
So would I get some more time for that, or is...
Yeah, so I'm going to say that you can have 15 more seconds.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because we had 11 MPs in this federal election that were the direct agents of or under the influence of foreign interference, and you weren't told. And why can't we actually deal with foreign governments that are influencing us? Because our loyal opposition won't tell us. Thank you very much, Mr. Poilievre.
Okay, that was not good, Grant Abraham, actually, because if Poilievre got that clearance, he couldn't tell us. So you can't say, go get the clearance and then you can tell us. The reason he doesn't want the clearance is because it imposes a gag on him. And you could hear somebody in the audience going, don't say that, buddy, you're going to get crucified.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. I sure did.
And yeah, the crowd did not care for that.
No, Grant, that was the one overstep. But I don't think there's a ton of appetite for anybody to widely or viscerally criticize Pierre Poilievre for what he did in the lead, especially in the lead up to the election. He took a lot of hits for Conservatives, and we saw it tonight. There's no appetite to gang up on Pierre Poilievre. People that did kind of got shut down pretty fast. So I guess diplomacy is still important in politics. That's what we learned here tonight.
Yeah, I think Grant got a little overconfident. Yeah. You know, like he was saying things that the crowd liked. And I think it's because they were things that people wish conservatives had said.
So much of what but then he went one step too far.
And then he was like, no, they like what I'm saying because I'm saying it. And that's not, like, it got to his head a little bit, I think, because those are all the things that you're just like, oh, just go slightly off the rev limiter.
Yes.
Little sweet conservative, go a little bit darker blue. You always wish your conservatives were like that. And he was saying those things. Yeah. And that crowd, you can tell that's a Poilievre crowd. And it's, you know, Damien Carrick was in the audience, who was the MP that stepped down. People love him. Before that, it was Kevin Sorensen. He's the MP. He was mentioned in the crowd. Actually, Catherine Swampy pointed him out, and Poilievre did too. Yeah. So, that's a Tory crowd, like, you know.
And when you consider who has the ability to organize on a mass scale, it is the federal parties. So it would have been Pierre Poilievre canvassers at everybody's house. It would have been the mail outs. It would have been the telephone calls. It would have been like he would have had a really, really huge contingent of campaigners out on his behalf. And Grant, I'm actually kind of sad. I'm actually kind of sad because Grant had me.
He was doing it. I thought, and you know, it was like the hand of God reached into the technical capabilities of the live stream to try to save him from himself.
That's exactly what happened. Jesus took the wheel, Canada.
Yes.
We saw the live stream.
Saw it. And then I was just too darn curious. And I made us go back and watch. Now we're all disappointed in Grant Abraham, who I think had a lot of hearts and minds.
I'm not all disappointed with Grant Abraham. And as a matter of fact, is it time, number one, to what are we going to do now, Sheila? Because I don't want to give away any of my picks until the very, very end. But I do want to see what everybody else on the live chat is saying.
Okay, we're going to hit an ad break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back. We're going to finish the chat. So during the ad break, I want you guys to tell us, who do you think won?
Yeah.
Did Grant Abraham blow himself up for no good reason whatsoever? That's a Liberal talking point that he just used. And that was very disappointing.
That's true. And you know what? Maybe that's why it was so poorly received
Jarring.
by the audience.
It was jarring.
Because they identified it as a liberal speaking point, just like they identified everything Darcy Spady said was a liberal speaking point.
It was a big boo.
Never heard so many boos outside of Halloween in my life.
Yeah. Before we go to break, I will tell you my favorite answer of the night came from the PPC when he stood up, and you could tell, like he's not a politician. And so some things just, like you freeze when you're on stage if you're not used to public speaking. I don't like it. And I talk to you guys every day, but it's usually just me alone in my office talking to a camera.
It's a whole different beast when there is hundreds of people in an audience. Yeah.
My favorite question was when he rejected the premise of that post-secondary question and said, look, you can make a good living with your back and your hands and you won't go into debt, and there's no shame in being a mechanic. And I thought that is so perfectly Albertan. And that is why the Laurentian elites don't like us, is because they think everybody needs to be a career student with a PhD to
like Catherine Swampy.
Like Catherine Swampy,
who just freely admitted to the whole world that she is overeducated and unemployable.
And
crazy. Like, what?
Anyway, I loved that answer, because that is the story of the West. That you can make a good living. You can provide for your family with hard work and initiative, and you don't have to bear the burden of student debt for a degree you'll never use, Catherine Swampy. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can be something different out here. And that was my favorite answer. So we're going to hit an ad break. And then we'll come back, we'll tidy up the show, we'll let the poor suffering team in Toronto go home. But while we're on the ad break, let me know who you thought won. Let me know your comments about.
We want to know. We need to know what you thought, guys, because obviously we got opinions, but we could be swayed by yours.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to hear what you think.
Yeah. Okay. Let us know in the chats. We'll be back.
Right back.
Alberta powers Canada, but Ottawa keeps limiting our potential. The Alberta Next panel wants your ideas to strengthen our sovereignty within a united Canada. Help decide what's next for Alberta. Visit alberta.ca/next.
Gun bans make great distractions.
Trudeau may be gone, but Carney has picked up his same rhetoric.
We will quickly, and I mean quickly, reinvigorate the buyback of
hunters, collectors, competitors, and defenders of tradition are still being targeted, while criminals run wild under Liberal policy. But we are fighting back. Join us, Canada's National Firearms Association, in defense of freedom.
Do you agree with me? It is time to make Canada great again, and that is why we at Rebel News have teamed up with MCGA hats to introduce, the fashion sensation of 2025. Oh, and by the way, these beautiful hats, they are made in Canada. We don't rely on cheap imports coming over from China. So what are you waiting for, folks? Show your pride. This is the perfect thing for a patriot to wear, or maybe there's a patriot in your life that you would like to gift such a hat. Please go to mcgahats.ca. That's mcgahats.ca. Don't be shy about it. Wear this cap. Let everybody know you want to make Canada great again.
Canadians know the national anthem. They stand in silence to remember those who died for this country. But not every Canadian knows their rights and freedoms. The Freedom Passport will change that. It looks and feels like a Canadian passport, but contains the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms in a portable, easy-to-read format. The Freedom Passport. Order one for yourself and for all the freedom lovers that you love at freedompassport.ca.
Can I tell you guys something interesting that I've seen somebody do with their Freedom Passport? They take it around to events, Rebel News Live, let's say maybe the Rebel News birthday party at happybirthdayrebel.com. They take their Freedom Passport and they get all their favorite freedom fighters to sign it like it's an autograph book.
Oh, that's cute. That's a
That's
good
cute as
idea.
heck. Yeah. Anyways, that is to say, get yours and take it to the birthday party, because Tamara Leach is going to be singing there.
And it'll be just an autograph signing session, like a yearbook, like a junior prom yearbook. That's
like a junior prom yearbook.
Just like that.
Okay, let's get to some of these chats. I'm excited to hear what you guys had to say.
Yeah.
I clipped a free chat because I was also watching you guys in the YouTube stream, what you had to say, and I found a free chat that I thought was very prescient. Annalisa S. She is the lady who just adores David Menzies. And look, we adore David Menzies too, but it's not on the same level as Annalisa. She gives a $6.99 and says, great coverage. I'm biased. Pierre for the win. Do you know what? That is one of your more normal comments about your taste in men, Annalisa. Oh, goodness me.
Yeah, you're not alone, Annalise. You're not alone.
No. Bonnie D, I cut this one. Maybe you guys can show it, maybe not, it doesn't matter. Bonnie D said, Grant Abraham needs to forget about running federally. He would be more effective at a provincial level.
Yeah,
I thought that's
a good point. That's a good point.
My belief is that it doesn't need to be a party movement, the separatist movement or independence movement, whatever you want to call it, sovereigntist movement. I don't think it needs to be a party system. And I think Albertans feel that way because that's what we saw in the Old Didsbury by-election where the Republicans got smoked. And that had been riding that had previously elected a separatist candidate from the Western Canadian Concept Party many, many moons ago.
The first and only, right? The first and only.
And so I don't think Albertans are less separatist. I think they just see that they don't want to ever risk sending the NDP back to the legislature in Edmonton. So they'll do it from a sort of a nonpartisan viewpoint. But I think there is always a desire for people to have more prominent voices in that movement. And maybe that's what Grant Abraham does next.
Yeah, Grant Abraham, that last clip aside, okay, if we were to just disregard that
pretend it never happened, just mulligan that down the old memory hole. Didn't happen.
Grant Abraham, aside from that moment, Grant Abraham did a bang up job tonight, and I'd like to hear a lot more from him. As a matter of fact, on tomorrow's show, just to preview tomorrow's show, we are doing Western Wednesdays on the Rebel live stream, and we're going to have the Buffalo panel. Tomorrow, we have two amazing guests who we are sure you're going to love, but we should consider reaching out to Grant Abraham about being on that panel. He has some great ideas I'd like to hear more about.
You know, that is a lovely idea. I hope Efron is listening so that he remembers to do that, because I will definitely forget.
I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to reach out to Grant.
Okay, I think if you need contact information, I think we have it somewhere.
Okay.
5W gives us $5 and says, if your education has the word studies in it, it is not a real education.
Environmental studies, women's studies, gender studies. Yes, SW, you are absolutely correct.
Yeah, I am trying to raise kids who are getting practical educations.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Go forward educations. Yes.
And I think that's why that really it struck home to me with the PPC guy, the mechanic, who talked about being a mechanic because I have a pipe fitter.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. He also had a really great closing line when he said, let's send a commoner to the House of Commons. It's beautiful. Yeah, really good.
I thought that was good.
Yep.
Corey David Schreier, I hope you are still watching because you sent us 50 bones. And that's very, very generous of you. And we appreciate you so much. And it is a great, great idea because, as you know, Lisa and I, we're the Buffalo Twins. And our provinces were fraternal twins, separated at birth.
Cruelly separated at
torn
birth.
From each other.
Who does that but a monster?
Exactly.
That's the government of Canada. They split us up when we were meant to be together.
We would have had too much land, and they didn't even know about our mineral wealth yet, and a resource wealth. But they just thought those people aren't like us, and there's a lot of land. And if they get some more people, they might be more powerful than us. So they broke us apart.
Yes, divide and conquer. They used on us.
he makes a point, and I think some people in Manitoba might feel the same way. However, Northern Manitoba continues to vote NDP for some godforsaken reason. Maps of the previously proposed province of Buffalo included Flin Flon. For gold, maybe, and access to the northern part of Lake Winnipeg. Could the independent nation of Buffalo please include more of us Manitobans in the south too?
Yeah, brother, get in here. Yeah, we got room for you.
We'll take you as a refugee. It's fine. It's fine.
I want that.
I'm not sure I want Winnipeg. I'm not sure I want them.
We're gonna annex Winnipeg and make them stay with the existing Canada, but we definitely are interested in that Churchill Port area.
You know what? Give us the Churchill area. I would like the polar bears. I want Flin Flon. You guys can have Edmonton.
We would annex Edmonton too. Yeah.
Out you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Saskatoon, Regina, same.
It's just Toronto West.
That's right.
Anyways.
Same. Sorry, excuse me. I just have to step away for one quick second. Just take that. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, I'll go. That's okay. All right. Sasquatch Chronicles gives us $9.99 and says, as an American, this is lovely. Bless you. This is nice. I'm glad you're back, Lise, because this is a compliment for us, and I think you should be here to accept it alongside me. Sasquatch Chronicles gives us $9.99 and says, as an American, I'm not sure why I am here, except you two are my favorite to watch.
Oh, well, howdy, neighbor. Thanks so much for coming.
He says, Lise is glowing tonight. Very pretty. Sheila, you are everyone's cup of tea. Don't take any crap from the haters. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I'm going to print this for both of us, and we're going to put this on the fridge.
I'm going to put this on a bumper sticker. I'm going to put it on my little micro trailer.
I'm going to put this on
everyone's cup of tea.
I'm going to put this in my obituary and also on my headstone. Thank you so much, Sasquatch Chronicles.
As an American, I'm not sure why I'm here, except that you two are my favorite to watch. Well,
that's
thank
really
you so
great.
much.
No, we're delighted that you're here. You're not even invested, and you're invested. That's saying something. We'll take it.
Do you know what? I am invested in Squatchin, by the way, and I took some time away from a documentary tour. Lyndon, our roadie, and Kian Simone, my documentary filmmaking partner, when we were on the medical assistance in dying documentary tour, we stopped in Harrison Hot Springs, British Columbia for the evening with the RV. And the guys were like, oh, there's a hot tub at our RV park. So that's where they went. And I'm like, this is Harrison Hot Springs. I'm going squatching.
I'm going hunting for a Sasquatch.
Yeah. And I was like, guys, if I don't come back, track my watch. Because it's in bear poop. I've been eaten.
She's the best. Oh, our Sheila has some great hobbies.
I do. I'm an odd lady. John Hunter says, I love Rebel News. Thanks, ladies. Well, thank you so much. That was an unpaid chat. See, we're reading them.
We love you back. Thanks.
Yep. P. Schofield 10 gives us $5. I've spent years trying to get fellow Yankees to pronounce Poilievre correctly. So far, only Victor David Hansen does it. Yes, he's the only one. He's the only one. Yeah. Actually, no, there's a young man on Newsmax, and I remember sitting waiting to do a hit on Newsmax with them, and you sort of hear the people who are on before you, and they were talking about universities and stuff. And he goes, they were talking about like, oh, where did you go to university? And he goes, oh, you wouldn't know it. It's Canadian. And then he said, and I noticed that he had said Poilievre correctly. So I was like, oh. And then when he said, oh, you wouldn't know my school, it was Canadian. And then the guy goes, no, say it. And he goes, Nate. I'm like,
shush.
It's like, I gotta get, and he's like, you wouldn't know that school. And I just felt like saying, that's a fine school, the technical school in Edmonton.
That is one of the best schools in Edmonton. No shame in the Nate game.
I was like, you know what? Tilt that chin up, Nate graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Politicians. I think this is Politicians Never Lie. Yep. Regular donor. 222. Thanks for the stream and looking good. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
And And Jake TM gives us $2, and I don't see a chat. And oh, Wendy 1967 says Sheila is amazing. I can't imagine the days she puts in compared to the rest of us. They're long ones.
I'm telling you, she runs circles. She runs circles around the devil himself, okay? He can't catch up to her. She just runs and runs. I've actually never seen anything like it.
Yeah,
So thanks, Wendy. Thanks for recognizing that, because she does hustle.
Thank you. I did.
Our girl
I
does
tried
hustle.
to take a day off and work the whole darn day. Let's see. Annalisa 279. I thought Pierre was great. Excellent.
Yeah.
Jay Peterson, $10 says Rebel News is Fox News on steroids. Keep up the great reporting. Well, thank you so much.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
Mark Scott gives us $2 as an American who supports your pushback. Well, thank you so much. We got some Americans on today.
We love this for us. Like,
Yes.
We love our American neighbors and viewers. And
love
thanks so much for being here. Like, we maybe
Our
we'll,
spiritual kin. They are.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe we'll have a nationality in common someday.
I'll just Mark Poilievre. Polly, like Polly Pocket. Ev, EV. That's it. Poilievre. That's how you say his name.
Poilievre.
All
Real
the other
fast.
letters are silent.
Yeah.
They don't. All the other letters are French. They don't mean anything. Rocky Mountain Duke. Looking forward to the live stream tomorrow with my favorite ladies. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Rocky Mountain Duke. And like I said before, we have a couple of guests
We got a
that are
banger
coming
tomorrow.
on.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's
a real treat.
It is going to be an absolutely fantastic show. Not only are our regular viewers, like all of you, going to love it, but this is going to anger the left. It is
In Saskatchewan.
Anger the
you guys are getting the band back together.
Heads are going to explode.
Yeah.
And we got a great guy coming in from Alberta, one from Saskatchewan, one from Alberta, your two favorite girls. And I literally can feel myself getting twitchy about it already. And I already know that I'm not going to sleep because I'm so excited about tomorrow happening. So we're all looking forward to. Thanks so much, Rocky Mountain Duke.
That's 11 Mountain, one in the place which describes itself as the center of the universe, Toronto. Tune in for the live stream tomorrow. I want to thank the Rebel News team in the background who put this stream together on short notice on a whim, on a Sheila whim. I thought, oh, shoot, we should do a live stream. Oh, I'll get Lise to do it. She said yes. And then they just dealt with the work that we threw at them. So we sure appreciate the people who work behind the scenes here at Rebel News so much. It is 11:47 at night and they're still in the office and they've been in there all day. So thank you so much, guys. Thanks to everybody who joined the stream tonight and chatted and shared the stream and pitched in all the money, all your little chats to help us keep the lights on here at Rebel News. We still got another one rolling in, and I'll read that before I go. We couldn't do any of this without you. And, you know, I'm immensely fascinated that so many of you find this sort of stuff entertaining because it makes me feel like less of a political extremist nerd.
Girl,
you know what I mean?
I say this all the time, is that Rebel News is what made me feel normal through the craziest time of life, the craziest time that any of us have ever experienced. And that's part of why it's so important we do what we do, is we do give people a place to feel normal about the things that they see, the things that they feel, think, believe. We give you a place to do all of those things. So
you're not crazy. You're not crazy. Catherine Swampy is crazy. You're not crazy, friends.
That's right. You're not crazy. The CBC is crazy. Right. You're not crazy. The Liberal Party of Canada is crazy. You're not crazy.
You're not crazy.
The VAP, the NDP is crazy. Okay.
I got one more chat. One more chat, and then we got to sign off because we got to be back here in like 13 hours. 13-ish hours. Yeah. And I got to let those poor folks in Toronto go home. Mark Scott, also our American friend, $2. He says, I got it. That's the pronunciation of Poilievre. He said, I'm the guy who calls him PP. Okay. Got it. Got it. You got it. We got it.
Now you know. Poilievre. Say it. Say it with
friends.
Say it with us, Mark. Poilievre. That's how you say it.
Poilievre.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, though, everybody. We're so happy to have been here with you tonight. It's been a blast. I love these nighttime live streams, Sheila Gunn.
Yeah, they're so fun.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, Lise, for joining me, and I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow because I feel like we're gonna have we'll have digested this and we'll have more to talk about, and I can't wait to hear what our guests have to say. It's gonna be great. Thanks, everybody, and I am going to start using my own sign off. Instead of regurgitating David Menzies' old sign off, I'm going to say, if you find me offensive, then just don't find me at all. Huh? How's
So
that?
good.
Anyway,
So
so that's the new tagline. I tested it out. So thanks, everybody, and remember, if you find us offensive, maybe don't find us at all.